Say hello to first place, Captain!
Bad boy, go!
Just tried to put on a show, man. That's what we're here for.
Oh my God, I'm stoked to be down at the bottom in one piece.
This is it, man. It's a big show and everyone watching.
And big.
Going up for another one. I don't think you can ever have so much experience here. Just like insane in my head. I've done it before, but it's still hard every time.
From Whistler, Randy
It's not like the other contests. The crowd and pressure, I feel amazing.
This is your fifth win here at Red Bull Joyride.
Nikolai Ragakin wins the triple crown of slopestyle.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome, slopestyle mountain bike fans of the world. The time has finally come to put a bow on this spectacular Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship season. Now, of course, we're hanging out where this sport began. Hallowed ground, the Boneyard Slopestyle course in Whistler, British Columbia for Red Bull Joyride. Just a year ago, one rider, Nikolai Ragakin, was able to become the first rider to ever win the Triple Crown in slopestyle. This year, there's a rider who has a chance to do the same, Brett Reeder.
Just as Brett Reeder made it very clear last year that his agenda was to attempt to take away the Triple Crown from Nikolai Ragakin, this year we have 13 other riders with names like Emil Johansson, who is riding healthy this year, newcomers, David Godziak, Max Fredriksson, also back healthy. All these guys have their sights set on taking away the dream from Brett Reeder.
And all these athletes looking for victory today are competing on a brand new course with new features laid out in an original way. Not only are the features absolutely enormous, but there's actually options so a rider can choose which feature is going to allow them to unlock their biggest tricks.
This newly redesigned course has been the talk of the village all week. The crowd is excited about it, the riders are excited about it, and to get you up to speed, let's go on board with Emil Johansson and Nikolai Ragakin in this GoPro course preview.
What's up, everyone? Nikolai Ragakin here with
Bull Joyride.
We are here at Crankworx Whistler for Red Bull Joyride, the final stop of the tour. We got a new course this year, crazy course with some options, big jumps. We're gonna show you what it's all about. What do you think, Emil?
It's gnarly, but it's fun.
We're gonna take some different lines down the course. I'm following Emil, see how it goes. All right, I'm dropping in after Emil. He's taking the flat drop line. I'm taking the step down. Emil with the big spin. Oh, here coming in. Emil's going Bornalog. I'm going for the up box option. Epic feature. Now coming into the big berm, maximizing the speed into this big jump. Emil's taking the hip. I'm going all the way over. Big flip. Oh, that feels insane. Now going into this big flat drop. Emil's spinning. I'm cruising off the end. Taking this steep berm, maximizing speed into this next big jump, big boost. Oh, Emil's steezing into the techie shark fin. Get it. Now into the big steep trick jump. Some flips. Now we're almost at the end into the toilet bowl feature. Cruising around, slowing down. Jumping into the final whale tail. Emil with the bar spin and spin. I'm flipping out. Oh, yeah, and there it is. Yes! So hyped, dog. Oh, I got windy in the end. That was crazy. There it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is exactly what we're looking for in terms of a slope style course to polish off the end of this amazing 2019 season. We find ourselves up in the booth right now. I'm Cam McCall, your host, alongside my brother Tyler McCall, and a new face in the booth today. He had 8th place here last year at Joyride, Matt Jones. Now, Matt, more nerve-wracking being up there at the start of the course, getting ready to drop in, or here with us?
You know, this is a different vibe, but yeah, the riders up at the top of the course today, they've got their work cut out. You're thinking about every detail. There's so much on your mind, and if it all works out, you have the best day ever, but it is a lot of work, and I'm really excited for all those guys up there right now.
And Tyler, I mean, it's been a crazy season so far. Only 3 events on the World Tour this year, and Brett has won the first 2. You think he's got what it takes to win here?
He's the only one in contention for that Triple Crown. And last year he was trying to take it. This year everyone's trying to take it from him. So Brett Reeder obviously wants to win this.
Okay, so for those of you who maybe haven't been as close to the action as we have all season, let's do a little reminiscing. Let's take a trip down memory lane and see how the first 2 events went. We kicked off the season down in the Southern Hemisphere, Rotorua, New Zealand. Now, it's great kicking off the season early in March. This is usually the time where it's still a little bit cold, where a lot of these riders are coming from. One of which, right there, Alex Alonco, the youngster, found himself on the podium with a 3rd place.
Thomas Lemoyne, always a competitor in any event that he enters at a Crankworx. Had a busy night last night with Speed and Style, but now he's got his sights set on his last Crankworx event of the year, Joyride Slopestyle.
So that was a huge finish for Thomas Lemoyne, getting that silver medal there. But look at this guy. He kicked his season off on the right foot. He's won on this course before, and he absolutely dropped the hammers to do it again. Flat backflip tail up off the drop. 1st place for Brett Reeder. Now, in a season where there's only 3 events, every single one counts so much if you want to keep your hopes alive for that Triple Crown. So, stop number 2, Innsbruck, Austria, and a fresh face on tour. If you're familiar with BMX Dirt, you know that he won bronze at X Games Dirt. But look at this, he's the brother, the younger brother of Simon Godziak, and he stomped a 3rd place run in Innsbruck, David Godziak. But this guy, it's the first time we've seen him truly back in top form, Emil Johansson.
Emil has had a lot of time to think about the tricks he wants to pull throughout his recovery. Now we're seeing a healthy Emil bringing new tricks to the game.
So if Brett Reeder wanted to go 1 and 2, he would have to better the 2017 Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Champ, Emil Johansson, in his comeback. And Brett saw ya and upped ya 1. A ridiculous run, showing a little skin in the finish line corral, if you remember. Now, Nikolai Rogatkin starting his season off rough. Big crash in New Zealand. Another big crash in Innsbruck. And always a showman, he jumped right back up after that crash and crashed again. So, Nikolai Rogatkin looking to clean things up here in Whistler. And Brett Reeder looking to repeat on what Nikolai did last year and win the Triple Crown. All right, look at this. This is what Red Bull Joyride is all about. We have the craziest fans in mountain biking. We call this the Super Bowl of slopestyle for a good reason. Now, we've all competed in this event before. What is it about this event that just increases the adrenaline levels?
You know, it's got to be the course and the crowd. These are the gnarliest jumps I've ever ridden in a row. You know, you train at home on your setup, but no one has this in their backyard. No one has this level of intensity with a crowd this big. So it's all down to this one day every year.
So the Crankworx festivals are full of energy, and Joyride, yeah, may be the peak of that energy, but one rider who's competing in Red Bull Joyride out here today has already had a very long week. I'm talking about Thomas Lemoyne. Now, Thomas Lemoyne always gunning for the king of Crankworx points. He found himself in the Speed and Style finals going up against Mitro Pilato. Now, Mitro Pilato was the #1 qualifier going into this event, and he wanted those points to secure that king of Crankworx title, which he did at the end of this event. Thomas Lemoyne had to settle for a silver, but to think the biggest event of his year is coming up right here today, and he was doing cash rolls, 360 double tail whips. You know that takes a toll on the body, so we're looking for him to peak here at Red Bull Joyride. But Emil Johansson, this story, we can't possibly tell enough. The 2017 world champ, having to take the entire 2018 season off, except for Red Bull Joyride last year, where he came back, not 100%, but he still had a great finish with a 4th place. But Nikolai Rogatkin with such a perfect season last year. We had talked about it so many times, thinking that it was virtually impossible to win 3 slopestyle contests in the same season. He did just that. It was a back and forth between Nikolai and Brett last year. Nikolai coming out on top, winning that Triple Crown. It's on, ladies and gentlemen, Red Bull Joyride time. And of course, as always, we got to extend a big thank you on behalf of Crankworx Whistler to the Squamish and Lilwat nations for welcoming us on their beautiful traditional territory to do this dance we call slopestyle mountain biking and finish up every season the way this sport began so many years ago. All right, let's take a look at who we have on our start list here today. Kicking things off, this guy has been off tour for a while on injury hold. Max Fredriksson making his return. Will it be a triumphant return? Well, in a few minutes, we're about to find out how his first run goes. Moving through the order, dropping 8th will be Emil Johansson. And then a guy who's been having a real good season there, Torquato Testa, with some very consistent results of 4th place to start the season. 6th place at the second event, and then we'll finish things off with Thomas Lemoyne and the man who could win the Triple Crown, Brett Reeder. Well, how does this whole thing work? Check it out. We call it the Crankworx F&B Slopestyle World Championship. This is the biggest contest of the year. Each rider gets 2 runs. The best one counts. We got 4 judges determining who wins the competition. $25,000 to the winner. If Brett Reeder wins all 3, he'll get an extra $25,000. So yeah, it's true to say there's a lot on the line out here. And that's why so many of you are tuned in on Red Bull TV, and this course is absolutely lined with crazy fans. So, hey, without further ado, let's get this on. First rider in the gate out of Sweden, finally back from injury hold, Max Fredriksson.
This is a very important comp for Max here, almost falling off tour, trying to maintain his points. He needs a solid result here in order to stay on this tour. Opting for the step down feature here to get things started. Triple truck driver, already starting out with a huge move right there for Max Fredriksson. Truck driver to tuck no hander, squeaking in all the combos. Now wrapping that big long berm. He's gotten options here. He's going for the straight jump. Backflip bar spin and tuck no hander, getting all those bar spin and tuck no hander combos in there. Now the big drop that we see mid-course this year, opting for the straight 360, carrying all the speed around that berm into this big step up. Double tail whip. Nice and smooth there, coming around the toilet bowl. Now we have the kokanee whale tail to end things off. Double tail whip in, big move in. Double truck driver out.
Oh! Wow, Max Fredriksson holding on.
Wow. I don't know if he gets bonus points for that, but that sure is an exciting way to end your Red Bull Joyride run.
The first rider of the event always sets the tone for the rest of the competition. That is a long run. And the whole time I'm thinking, all right, Max, hold it together, kick this off on the right foot. This kid trains more than anybody out there. He goes to the gym 6 times a week. So that's what it takes to be able to hold on when you land sideways and your tire blows out on the final feature.
All right, so Max was able to squeak in a lot of combos there, opting for the straight 360 off the drop, but everything else pretty much had bar spins, tuck no handers, and tail whips thrown in. Great way to start the show. He's had pretty bad luck with Crankworx events in the past as of late. So landing that last feature and riding through, you know he had some PTSD based on his past crashes on the last jumps at Crankworx events.
All right, what's the score going to be for Max Fredriksson? Wow, a 78 to kick things off. That is a good score, so close to the 80s out of our first rider. But while Max is fixing that tire, let's take a look who's ready to drop in second here. Lucas Hupert, the Swiss rider, youngest rider in the field at 19 years of age.
Lucas also works and goes to university full-time, somehow sneaking in training and working his way up the point structure, and now he finds himself in the gate for Red Bull Joyride, the most prestigious slopestyle comp of all year. Now we got a couple options up there. We see him taking the flat drop with the truck driver. Big move for Lucas, starting things off with a big front flip on the cannon there. Able to muscle that one out, slight over rotation. That shouldn't hurt his score.
There's the first rider taking that hip jump option with a double tail whip.
I like seeing that already. It's always good seeing people switching it up.
Whoa, going huge with a 360X up off of that flat drop.
Big.
Oh, no.
Going for a big cork 720 there, just overcooking it a little bit. We saw him taking pedals out of that berm. Might have been a little too much speed.
So good seeing Lucas getting up from that. These jumps, they are so big, and to walk away from a 720 crash on that jump.
Exactly.
Now, Matt, when you talk about those jumps being big, I feel like the main factor in these jumps that make them, you know, be categorized as big is more the air time. It's not necessarily the distance. Are these steeper than what these guys train on? It looks like they're going straight to the moon.
These jumps are so steep. Like you'll see right now coming into this takeoff, they punch you straight into the air. And that gives you the time to unlock big tricks. So he's back on course with a backflip, going into this toilet bowl feature.
So at times it can be hard to adapt that trick you've been training for at home on jumps that aren't quite as steep, jumps that don't offer up as much boost and air time. So Lucas Hupert will have an opportunity to recalibrate, figure out how hard to pull for that Quark 720 on that jump in his second run. Well, in years past, we've seen on a couple different occasions, multiple riders drop in to start our competition and not finish their run. So for Max Fredriksson to hold on as our first rider to drop in, it's great because at least we have one in the can right now. Lucas Hupert not able to get a top to bottom right now. Here we're getting a look at our esteemed judging panel. We got Chopper, Pierre, we got Hank, we got Paul Rack and Jeff Gulovich. Now these are the same guys who judge all the events on this World Tour. So they've got this thing down to a science, but the next rider in the gate getting ready to drop in, Paul Couder. Now he's had a great season so far this year, most notably in Innsbruck, the last event we had on this World Tour, 4th place. So earning his right on this World Tour, it's so hard and prestigious to become a part of this club. Paul Couder dropping in.
Relatively fresh face to the scene. Now with this guy, I want you to pay attention to which direction he's doing his tricks. That was an opposite 360, spun that one to the right.
Oh!
Backflip, tail whip on the cannon right there. Big move for Paul.
So he's going for the straight jump option with maximum airtime, a backflip, double bar spin. And they call this section now the flight deck. You get so much time cruising up to this drop, which is just enormous. A flat drop backflip.
Nice and smooth for Paul right there. So I think we're going to see some regular spins come. Oh, or a double backflip mid-course. Paul has some huge tricks, showing lots of promise in this run. Now the riders are referring to this as a spine jump. So much airtime. I believe that was an opposite 720, able to stay online.
Oh no!
Come on!
It was all going so well there for Paul.
Now that is the feature on the course you would least likely expect to see anybody make a mistake. It is basically a setup feature. It's not even one of the features you're going to see riders tricking. It's a little tiny jump into a 270-degree berm. We're calling that the toilet bowl section. It's mainly just to redirect your speed and your lineup for that final whale tail feature.
It's probably the least important jump on the course in terms of score, you know, like that's, you slow yourself down and it's going to help count for overall impression, but to see Paul go down there.
I don't think he was expecting that crash either. He just landed a little offline on that big 720.
I want to roll the footage back and try to see if we can figure out what was going on. Was he just thinking about the Kokanee whale tail coming up? Here we go, backflip, double bar spin on that big dirt-to-dirt triple threat feature and into this Joyride runway flight deck here. Flat drop flip, going pretty deep. And that led him right into this double backflip where he also went deep. So we're gonna try to figure out if this was a chain reaction that was causing him to get a little bit off his game, maybe speeds being affected by some of these overshoots. We're getting closer to this section where he messed up here. Quark 720, I believe that was his opposite direction, landed long. And then look, just not hopping far enough to get across. Now, do you think that was a matter of speed, Matt, or do you think he just needed to pop a little harder?
Well, the riders have been saying that they haven't had as much practice as they'd often hoped for this week, and maybe that's just the first time he's landed like that on that jump and moving forward to the toilet bowl. You've only got to be a few inches off, and these jumps can take you down, so
you saw
fingers
that
crossed.
Reaction there out of Emil Johansson. Now, to be those top riders dropping last, you get in that situation because you had a great season, but it's got to be interesting to watch riders crash in front of you just waiting for your turn at this course. But right now, the next rider with a turn on this course, Diego Cavarzassi out of Italy.
Diego's got some big moves. We thought that Nikolai Rogatkin was the only person able to do a twister just last year. Then Diego pulled it out of nowhere. So he's got all the big moves, all the tech moves, regulars, oppos, everything that it takes to get on the podium here at Red Bull Joyride.
360X up off the flat drop, that's an option. Now let's look. That's off the cannon, a front flip. That trick blows my mind. It's so much airtime off of a big cannon like that. Where's he going here for the triple threat? Straight down the middle, backflip, Barspin to tail whip.
Damn, some
This
big
run
moves.
is on fire. Right, come on, the flight deck. This is a humongous drop. He's got a flat drop backflip. Quite a lot of variation in this run, rotating in all directions. 1, 2, that's a double tail whip. Come on, Diego, keep it together.
Getting lots of variety in this run. He's got the spins, he's got the flips, and the tail whips. So what's it gonna be on this big jump right here? Front flip, bar spin. Diego Cavarzasi's signature move right there, loving the front flip combos. Navigating his way around that toilet bowl, and now coming in to the kokanee whale tail. Truck driver in, what's he gonna choose out? Backflip bar spin, nice and smooth. Perfect execution all the way down and a full pull for Diego Cavarzasi in run number 1.
Look how excited he is. That run, really. All those spins, so much technical maneuvers. He's so stoked with that run, and so he deserves to be.
And you know why it's so great to see Diego stomping a run in his first of 2 attempts here at Red Bull Joyride? It's because he kicked this season off with a lot of troubles, finishing outside of the top 12 at the first event, finishing in 11th in Innsbruck. But now for him to stomp this run and all of these technical maneuvers like this backflip bar spin to tail up, take a look at where his feet go, straight to the pedals very early, eyes up, catching and regaining control of that bike, and making the plan for the next feature. A run executed with precision, such a mental game out here, especially when you're getting into your 3rd, 4th, 5th season. All these riders go through these growing pains, and it's the tough ones who are able to come back and get a good result.
That run was incredible.
Diego's another rider we've seen dealing with a lot of injuries in the past, appears to be super healthy here and riding to his full potential, which is always great to see.
What's the score going to be? He needs a 78, better than a 78 to move Max Fredriksson out of the lead. Now the judges taking their time on this. We've seen 4 riders drop, only 2 riders make it top to bottom. Diego Cavarzasi with an 86, rewarded for the precision and the great trick choices out there. All right, Diego, man to beat right now. We're getting close to the 90s already.
4 riders in, score in the mid-80s. We got a lot of big dogs to come. And things are starting to take shape. This guy right here has made himself one of the most exciting people to watch drop into a slopestyle course.
Now across different sports too, 3rd place in BMX Dirt at the X Games, and then in his first Crankworx slopestyle appearance, last stop, Innsbruck, Austria, the front cork 1080 no-hander, the twister no-hander, the double tail off the cannon. Now his big bro is a fixture on this Crankworx World Tour, but younger brother showing he's got what it takes as well. Not only is he top of his game in 2 different sports, he runs an equipment rental business out of his family's property where they also have their training facility. So 2 big 3rd places across 2 different sports already this summer for this man. And he's looking to get higher than that 3rd place. He's got a bag of tricks worthy of doing so.
I am pretty sure David Godziak has every trick in the book in his trick bag, so I'm really curious to see what he pulls out here. Has he been working on his flat drop tricks? That was one of his downfalls of not taking the win in Innsbruck, so I'm sure he went home, focused on all that. He's got the jumps figured out, that's for sure.
Right, pay close attention to this. He's going for the step down. Backflip bar spin, already off to an absolute stormer. Which way is he going? Is that the right-hand side? First rider to take the up box with a double tail whip round this berm. This is the first absolutely huge jump on course. And what's he got? Straight down the middle with a twister!
Huge twister. It makes no sense how you can have a rotation like that on such lock, making that look like a straight air. Big tail whip on that drop that we see mid-course now. That feature used to be the ender. Cash roll, bar spin with such a slow rotation, but able to pull that in.
Wow, that flare out of that shark fin. That's the BMXer in David right there.
David is looking so relaxed, working his way down this course with the triple truck driver coming in to the toilet bowl, squeaking in a little toboggan in there, trying to get the bonus points. And now the whale tail. What will it be for David Godziak? Front flip, tuck no-hander in. Back flip, tuck no-hander out.
Wow! What a demonstration of how to not only be precise, but hold it together, stay patient, one gigantic move after another.
He must feel triumphant right now. You could see from Thomas Lemoyne's reaction, he's just raised the bar here in Whistler to a level that we might have never seen. This is going to be an unbelievable showdown.
The top spot is currently held by Diego Cavarzasi with a score of 86. Now, when that score came in, we said that's getting close to the 90s. This run absolutely has what it takes to take over the top spot. The big question right now, by how much? How much room are the judges going to be able to leave for the rest of our star-studded field out here?
Looking so calm and collected for his first Red Bull Joyride appearance here. Now, we saw him in Innsbruck getting right onto the podium, and you know he wants to do the same thing here at the biggest comp of the year. He's watched his brother ride it many times, and now it's his shot.
Now, he got a little bit sideways right there. I was thinking, don't throw it away. After all you've done, backflip tuck no-hander, a little sideways, keeps his eyes straight, his torso straight, muscles through. The big question now, what will the score be? What will the score to be? I have a feeling we'll have a new one. Look at that, 91.75. Huge run. You got a new leader. His name is David Godziak.
Cam, this is crazy. We're only a few riders into the first heat and we have smashed into the 90s.
Yeah, that one is going to be tough to beat, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be the handful of riders we have coming up next. And look who will be the next rider on course.
If we weren't excited enough already, boys.
We're getting right into things here. We got Nikolai Rogatkin in the start gate.
So, tough season so far for Nikolai Rogatkin. Rotorua to start the season, 9th place. Innsbruck, 14th place, so going downhill. But to start his comeback last night at Best Trick, he decided to get a little practice for today's slopestyle competition. Take a look.
Now, he didn't have to do this competition. This is a Best Trick contest. Lots of people trying their hand at it. Most of the slope riders just chilling, relaxing, getting their rest for the big day today. Nikolai may have needed a big confidence boost, so he decided to go there and just throw a casual Twister X up, take the win, and now he's got to be feeling pretty darn good coming into Joyride.
Oh, jeez. So he is the ultimate showman. You don't usually see riders playing around on a jump that isn't on the slopestyle course just to get practice, but he'll do it for the fans, and we got the most fans all year right here cheering his name.
Nikolai always thrives off the energy of the crowd. Going for a cash roll off the step down there. That's a new move for him. He did that first time in practice.
360 double tail whip. Was that on the up box?
Hold it together.
Come on, he's lost some speed there. Come on, Nikolai. He's going straight down the middle. 1, 2, 3. That's a twister. A 1080.
So he's stepping things up a little bit more than David Godziak right now. 360X up down. So I'd say if he's able to finish this run out like he hopes, this may be able to top David Godziak. These runs are very similar. Double tail whip right there.
Yes, come on.
Big move. Holding on. See if he maintains his speed into this step up. Triple tail whip. Just making everything happen. Now he's got a little bit of time to recover and think about these big moves right here to finish things off.
Come on, Nikolai. Straight back flip in. What's he got for the step down?
Yes!
A cork 720!
Yes!
He loves it!
Rogatkin, the perseverance, the showmanship. This is amazing.
He was on edge that entire run. I can't believe he made it to all those features.
There was really some moments during that run where you're thinking, he's not going to get away with this. And he just kept it going. He kept the train going. He got to the finish. And a cork 720 on a step down. I mean, 12 months ago, that was a pretty brand new trick, right? And he just throws it straight into a run. Oh, my.
You just can't script this kind of stuff. You get David Godziak dropping in with a run where his biggest trick was a trick that Nikolai brought to this scene. And then Nikolai answering right back, starting things off by cash rolling the step down.
Cash roll to start, cork 7 to end. Those are two cool moves right there. And that right there, how do you squeak all that in? There's not very much airtime on that feature.
Now this is the same jump that David Godziak did the twister. This is basically a front flip with 2 other spins, so it's a front cork 1080. But let's start tallying how many times he almost threw this runaway here.
This was the moment here. He tags this landing with his back wheel and it picks him up.
That is a big one right there. Look, he probably didn't even remember that. Somehow made it. I mean, even up top, he's roosting in a berm and pedaled into the section. Gosh, and then finishing so perfect with that. I mean, if you think about the way he bookended this run, did a casserole off the first step down and a Quirk 7 off the last step down. That is such a nicely complimentary way to start and end a run. All right, what will the score be? He needs to beat a 91.75. He lands at 88.5. So the judges want a polished run. Nikolai Rogakin knowing exactly what he needs to do. I'd say same tricks, but just clean it up.
Exactly. Now, he may have had a couple bigger moves in there compared to David Godziak, but David was so smooth on everything he did. So if Nikolai is able to clean that up, I think he's able to edge out David Godziak. But we got to wait for run number 2. But before that, we have more riders ready to drop, and right now we have Jakob Wenzel.
Oh.
Yep, Cam, you just got stoked because you saw the Black Sabbath shirt.
I'm so excited right now. Me and Jakob, yeah, we have a habit of talking music. He loves heavy music, and right now he's flying the colors of the band that started it all on the course where it all began for this sport. He was rocking Iron Maiden earlier in this season. He was rocking Slayer earlier in this season. I'd say it's very appropriate to go Black Sabbath when you're dropping in on the Boneyard slopestyle course. Doing it for Tony, Geezer, and Ozzy. Can he put a run together that will impress and do it for the judges? The oldest competitor in the field right here, proving he's got what it takes to stay on tour. He clawed his way back up last season.
I wouldn't just say he's the oldest. I would say he's going to use that to his advantage because he has some of the most experience out here. He's been on this world tour for a long time now, knows exactly what it takes. He's been close a lot of times. Starting things out with the 360X up. Going for a backflip off the cannon log there. Now that's a good move. There's no transition to get that rotation started. And he's choosing the hip on the triple threat right here. Going for a topside double tail whip.
Now this is the flight deck building up. I don't know how these guys judge their speed along there, but look, 360 no-hander on a flat drop. That trick blows my mind.
You're not going to see a lot of those today. Super technical. There it is, a cash roll. That seems to be the cash roll jump right there. Tuck no-hander out of the shark fin. So far, he has not missed a trick in this run.
There it is. That's the 720 where Paul Kuldirk seemed to lose all his speed and X up into the toilet bowl. Once he got Tyler into this whale tail.
So far, everything's clean. He's got a truck driver into the Kokanee whale tail. A backflip, X up to X up, out. So great combo, unique move right there for Jakob Wenzel. That was his signature move in speed and style when he was able to be the speed and style overall world champ, pulling that move right there. Judges liked it for speed and style, so we'll see if they like it out of a step down in slope style.
I'd say the judges only had one category to pick apart Nikolai's run, and it was the cleanliness. I would say Jakob Wenzel's main strength in this run was his cleanliness.
So Jakob actually had a crash in yesterday's practice session and sprained his ankle, and he was thinking maybe, is he even going to be able to ride today? So to see him stomp that run top to bottom, it was extremely clean, is amazing.
It's such a long week for all these competitors out here, and they're dealing with injuries, they're dealing with wind, and this crowd just has the ability to pull these riders out of any funk that they've been dealing with all week. And Jakob Wenzel just rising above the adversity and stomping that run.
Also further up the course, we saw him do that double tail whip on the hip feature, and not many riders have been hitting those hips. You have got options this year, and it's good to see Jakob using those options.
What do you think? Do you think it's going to score higher to choose one of those hip options on the triple threat?
I think if your trick's deserved of that high score, it's only going to get more points doing it on the hip because it's a more technical way of riding.
So we're waiting for the score to come in for Jakob Wenzel right now to see if they reward his cleanliness and the use of that hip feature on the triple threat. As they deliberate, Jakob waits, trying to figure out what his plan will have to be for second run.
There is so much for these judges to calculate. Smoothness, height, you know, it's just so many different variables in a slopestyle run.
Let's just enjoy looking at the words Black Sabbath during Red Bull Joyride. Two of my favorite things coming together. All right, score coming in for Jakob Wenzel. Where will it place him? A 74.5, good enough for 5th place right now. And if he's able to hold on to a score somewhere in that neighborhood, he'll be collecting more valuable points to stay on tour. But we're gonna take this opportunity right now to catch up with the man who's currently sitting in 2nd place, Nikolai Rogakin. Nikolai, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I know sometimes in those high pressure situations, everything happens so quick. When you were watching the replay to the run, were there some elements that you kind of forgot about because it was all happening so fast?
Oh man, that run felt rowdy. like from the start. The 360 double tail whip got a bit weird, drifted into the corner, got the twister, and it all got really crazy. I tried to catch no variation to jump after the big flat drop, and I wasn't able to do it and lost a bunch of speed into the shark fin, and I thought it was all over, man. Nose wheeling down, but just, you know, it is trying to hold it together as hard as I could here at Joyride, and yeah, made it down. But a really rowdy run, a lot of moments in there that I thought it was all over. But yeah, so stoked to make it down, and gonna try my best to clean it up next run.
Well, we can always count on you to push through, regardless of what little things happen. We know you got the tricks. If you clean that up, I got a feeling it's gonna climb you up to the top. So go get it, dude.
Thank you, I'm doing my best.
Yes, Nikolai. Man, I can't imagine Joyride without Nikolai anymore. You know, this is his 6th Joyride, and he's been such a big part of the show for the past 6 years. So, Emil Johansson, we saw him rocket ship back to the podium last event after trying so hard to battle illness and get back on tour.
This guy could seriously shake things up today.
So, take a look at this. A half of a point separated Brett Reeder and Emil Johansson for the top and the silver spot of that podium just a couple months ago. And right now, this is an opportunity to not only beat Brett Reeder, but to win Red Bull Joyride, a thing that matters the most to all these competitors out here.
Emil has been referred to as the future greatest of all time, showing so much potential anytime he gets on a bike. So good to see him healthy here, starting out with a 360 tail up. Now that was an opposite truck driver to inward table. This guy can do any trick, any direction, choosing the hip right here.
Yes.
Great to see with a huge Cork 720. So much more difficult to pull that on a hip than a straight jump.
What's he got here? A 360 unturned down to bar spin. Just appreciate how smooth Emil is riding, doing all these technical tricks, but landing so perfectly. A double truck driver to downside tail whip into a 450 step through.
That double truck to down whip is my favorite Emil Johansson trick that he has in his bag.
That's a backflip double tail whip.
So many, like that flip double whip right there. Bar spin in. Emil getting another great run in right here at Red Bull Joyride, coming into the Kokanee Whale Tail.
If he holds this together, 360 tail whip in, come on. An opposite.
Wow, going for the opposite
ridiculous.
360 tail whip in and a regular 360 tail whip to inward table out. So many things about that are hard to explain why they are so difficult. The first one, the trick into the whale tail, spinning his unnatural direction while spinning the bike his unnatural direction, and then reversing it on the next thing and clicking a table in there just for added steez points.
So it really is the subtleties, the intricacies of this run that don't meet the eye when you first watch it. I cannot wait to replay this in slow motion. Little things like choosing the hip and the triple threat for that Cork 7. Things like getting this 360 double bar spin to downside whip and catching the pedals so early. Look at this.
That trick is just ludicrous.
So many things going on, but look at how perfect he lands it every time.
Like, you see a lot of riders doing truck drivers off of that drop, but to do that 360 on turn down to truck driver, and every single time the bike is whipping around, the feet just magnetically attract themselves right there.
He makes that bike look like a feather, doesn't he? Doesn't
Yeah.
he? Just so light, such easy work for Emil out on this course.
But here we go. The opposite three whip in, the regular three whip to unturned down out. Now that is the cleanliness that the judges were looking to see from Nikolai Rogakin. They just saw it from Emil, but will it be enough to beat the 91.75 currently held by Poland's David Godziak? Emil Johansson. This guy's going to be around for a very, very long time. He will set the precedent for the future of this sport, but will he win Red Bull Joyride this year? His first of 2 runs in the books. The judges just trying to figure out what to do with it.
Look at those top 3 scores already. 91, 88, and an 86 we've had so far.
So many riders to drop still that can shake things up too.
You know what? These guys have 2 completely different approaches to this course, but they can respect the way the other rides. Here we go. The score coming in for Emil Johansson. Where will he land? 95.75! Come on! You got a new leader. His name is Emil Johansson. We call him the future of the sport. Will this be the year he wins the biggest event? He is now the man to beat.
What a story for the young Swede right there. So good to see him back riding these contests, sitting in the top spot after all that he's been through. That's not going to be easy to beat.
And how do you follow that up? Lucas Knopf, great rider on tour right now. Consistency is his strong suit. Let's take a look at the bike he's riding out here at Red Bull Joyride today. He's going for a hardtail, as a lot of these riders are. You just saw Emil drop that top score on a dual suspension. All these riders are usually either choosing a hardtail or a very short travel slopestyle specific bike. Lucas is going with the single speed. He's going with only one brake. You see the left side of his bar where a front brake usually would be. It's absent, of course. Very stiff suspension up front to maintain speed pumping down these landings. Will he be able to take this steed for a successful trip through this Joyride course?
Lucas Knopf has become a staple on this world tour, put in his work. Now he's finding himself mid-pack on the start list, going with the truck driver off the first flat drop. Nice big front flip, similar to what we saw from Diego. Diego able to get a good score with that move right there. Lucas is choosing the hip on the triple threat feature right here. Double tail whip. Oh, just going a little bit too slow, coming up almost a complete bike length short there.
He just looks shocked, doesn't he? He must have been, I think there's wind out there. What do you think was at play there to make him come up so short?
I think it's just a massive miscalculation there. When you're going to hit one of the hip features there on the triple threat, you're going to have to ride a swervy line. And the trail flow needed to judge the speed is a little bit different for those hips than if you were to just sail smoothly out of that berm and line up for, yeah, the bigger option, but the more straightforward option. So looking to get rewarded for, you know, rolling the dice a little bit and hitting that hip, but miscalculation, unfortunately, sending him to the bottom of the landing. Great to see him up quickly.
Talking to some of the riders, it's been apparent that these features this year are actually quite spread out. And I think that means there's actually more time to kind of miscalculate speed.
Especially this drop here. There's such a long runway. It's like walking the plank on the pirate ship. You're just second guessing yourself. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? So when you see these riders landing perfectly at the top of that landing, you know they're just experts at gauging speed. So Lucas Knopf gonna do one for the fans out here. Get himself to that shuttle truck so he can make his way to the top of the course for his second try, where hopefully he can put a run together and get a score to get those valuable points and stay on tour.
Great to see that he didn't get hurt from that crash right there. These features are not small. It's a long way to fall from the top of that landing down to the bottom. Lucas able to dust himself off, and we're going to see him take a run number 2.
So Ty, you say it's a long way to fall from the top of the landing to the bottom. We've all done it. Think about how far the jump is. How far would you say the jump is on that triple threat there?
I would guess it's 30, 35 feet.
Pushed around 30 to 35 feet, so that's a long gap. And with all the speed needed to clear that gap, when all of your momentum stops and you get pitched down to the bottom, you're falling a good 12 to 15 feet to flat. So speaking of scale, let's take a look. Let's break down the scale on some of these features. It's 8 meters, AKA about 24, 25 feet from takeoff to landing on the up box. And that's not even one of the biggest features on the course. So
this drop is just enormous.
Yeah.
23 feet down, 6.4 meters out. I think we're going to see some pretty impressive tricks on that today. It's got the airtime to do it.
So here we go, Brett Reeder riding this jump that we said was around 30, so somewhere around the 26 to 30 range. And when you air far down the landing, you're going even further. So 1 hockey stick, 3 rock chucks, and 3 Whistler Bears. Oh yeah, let's add on 2 bowls of poutine. For those of you who don't use either American or metric system, we got some tangible items for you here. I could go for some poutine.
This guy right here, every time we see him ride a bike, he has something new. He gets better and better every time he gets in the start gate.
I think we're going to see some tricks from Eric right now that we haven't seen from many of the other riders. He's got a super original trick bag, tricks that he's brought to slopestyle, I'd say, and if he displays them today, he could be punching for one of those top scores.
So that's why we see him choosing some very interesting tricks on this course. He doesn't want to do the same tricks. He says it's boring if you do that. He wants to mix it up, try new things. Some of those new things, tricks like backflip Superman seat grab, tricks like 360 seat grab Indian airs. One of my favorite riders to watch because you never know what he's been working on. He always brings something new to the table, and he's not afraid to adapt those creative tricks to the more difficult features.
Let's see, now he's opting for the step down. Backflip tail whip, that's a way of making your mark, dropping into a slopestyle run.
I think that's a new one for him as well, going straight into a 360 downside tail whip there. And he's choosing the straight jump. What's it gonna be?
Yes!
Backflip,
There it
Superman,
is.
C-grab. Such a unique move. A reason why Eric Fedko is so exciting to watch on these courses. Truck driver off the big flat drop there, keeping things such smooth as he usually does.
Yes!
360 C-grab Indian air, another one of his signature moves. Tail whip to table on the shark fin. Looks like he's just having fun with it, and that's what the judges love to see. Truck driver to tail whip. Huge combo right there for Eric Fedko.
This run has just been perfect so far, hasn't it?
Even getting some style into the toilet bowl right there. And now coming into the kokanee whale tail. Going for a 360 tail about landing that so smooth. Everything is so calculated. He knows everything he's doing is in his comfort zone. And now he's got a solid run in the bag.
This is just indicative of the new wave of slopestyle riders. You see Emil Johansson at the top of the leaderboard right now with precision and packing in little variations that just show your element of control. So things like tail whipping out of the shark fin while catching and doing that table. But the extension is something that is unique to Eric Fedko. So let's check out some of these replays. Backflip, gets his hand on the seat, then extend his leg. All right, stop. There we go, perfect straight line right there. And look, he's blind, he's still staring at his handlebars. He's not looking down at the ground. That is commitment. Roll the footage.
That is a trick. That is a trick that you can do, you can land, and it's also a trick that you can do so well. And we displayed that just there.
And this is what I'm talking about. He catches the tail up. Yeah, most riders would say that's enough, but he gains control. And even just that little bit of a tabletop afterwards shows the judges that he's a couple steps ahead of the tricks that he's doing. And then to start out with a backflip tail and end with a 360 tail, both on step down features. It's gonna be a great score. I'm not sure if it's gonna be what's needed to knock Emil out of that top spot, but we're definitely looking at possible podium contention here for Eric Fedko. So, score coming in for Eric Fedko. He will need an 88.5 to get into third place. Not good enough, an 87.25, fourth place. So Eric Fedko, a guy who's been on the podium at Crankworx Slopestyle, looking to get back. He's gonna need to do it in his second run. Well, look at who we have on screen right now. The talk of the town. For the second time in his career, he's eligible for the Triple Crown of Slopestyle. A feat only accomplished by his competitor, Nikolai Rogatkin, just a year ago. Brett Reeder would need to win the contest here today. He will be the last rider to drop. The anticipation building for the run by Brett Reeder. But right now, feast your eyes on this. The young Swedish rider, 23 years of age. He finished on the podium for the first time in Rotorua. Earned himself a spot to the entire world tour here. I'm talking about Alex Alonco.
Alex seems like one of those riders who is not afraid to put in the work. If he sets his mind to learning a trick, he will learn it, and then he'll learn it both directions. Alex Alanko has been showing lots of variety lately. Opposite 360 one-foot can right there to start things off. Into a regular 360 with 3 bar spins. Triple truck driver. Looks like he's choosing the straight jump on the triple threat with so much speed. Backflip double bar spin going huge on that jump right there.
This is the flight deck. Huge 360 step through. That's a one-footed can-can. That berm, you have to rail that berm to carry speed for a cork 720, so high up in the air.
Landing so smooth on everything so far. Just getting an X up in right there, but what's it gonna be for this big step up right here? Opposite cork 720.
Oh, come on, Alex. Amazing to see a cork 720 in both directions. Getting a little bit squirrely there, but he's still on course.
A little bit of time to recover coming into the kokanee whale tail. Oh, hard to see from our angle what he was doing into the whale tail right there. But as you can see, he wasn't able to maintain his speed to hit that final feature out. He had such a good run going. The opposite 360 one-foot can to start things off, and then the regular 360 one-foot can on the flat drop. mid-course, showing great variation. Regular cork 720, opposite cork 720. Such a shame to see him have to throw it away right before the very last feature on course.
So Alex Alonco had a third place to kick off the season, but he was all the way down in 12th place at Innsbruck. So he wants to repeat what he did to start the season, not how his middle event went, but he's going to have to do it in his second run right now if he wants to revisit that podium. But a great run, packing in all those tricks, the opposite cork 720. The train started to fall off the tracks with some cases, but the leaderboard looks like this right now. Nikolai Rogakin, probably the highest energy run we've ever seen out here. Good enough for third place so far. David Godziak sitting in second. If he's able to stay there, that will be his best result. His first event, he finished in third place. And Emilio Hansen, the man to beat right now, 95.75, not leaving a lot of room for our final few riders. Of course, ending off this run one start list will be Brett Reeder, and we're all looking forward to that. But take a look who's in the start gate right now. Torquato Testa, a rider who kicked off his season very well with a fourth place finish and then a sixth place finish in Innsbruck. Torquato Testa dropping in.
Torquato rides and trains with Diego Cavarzasi. He's got a different style than Diego. He's got big moves as well, though. 360 bar spin to start right there. It's a unique move. Backflip Superman on the cannon log.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have not either.
Double backflip on the longest jump on course.
Wow.
Coming into the flight deck. Let's see what he's got on this absolutely enormous drop. A flat drop backflip. The slowest rotation I think I've ever seen of a flat flip.
Torquato's on another great run right here. Such a smooth 720 on that step up right there. Getting a bar spin out of the shark fin. This jump right here. Torquato's got some big moves. What will he choose? Backflip tuck no hander to bar spin. Great technical combo in right there, getting a little bit of everything into this run. Coming into the final feature, the Kokanee Whale Tail, double truck driver in. Backflip no foot can out. So many unique moves in that run. The highlights to me were the backflip Superman on the cannon log and the backflip no foot can out of the whale tail. You don't see that every day.
That run just had a bit of variety, so much flavor from all angles, didn't it? Backflip Superman on the cannon that's the first time I've seen that trick. I was thinking about it a couple of years ago, but there's no way.
So you have some of the best backflip Supermans in the game. You might be able to explain a little bit about why it's so much harder to do on a feature like that.
I mean, a cannon log like that, it just has no pop, no transition to it. You have to generate all of the backflip yourself. But let's have a look at this. That is a huge double backflip. You can see him after the first rotation just looking longingly into the distance for where that landing is.
Well, you know what? This is a great strategy. This is why he's clawed his way back onto tour after falling off, is taking those big tricks, putting on more difficult features, doing those combos on step downs, doing the double flip on the biggest jump on the course. And that's why he's third in the overall rankings right now. Despite falling off last tour, clawed his way back on and now in the top 3 overall because of these great decisions and the way he's able to execute these ambitious runs.
It's been so consistent all year, and look at the way he lands right at the top of all these landings. This right here, backflip no foot can, full extension on that. Getting the pedals, spotting the landing, right at the top. Couldn't have been any smoother, and I don't know how you would score this contest. That run was so clean, such big moves, but everybody right there that you see in that results list also had big moves with perfect execution. So it's so hard to say where they're going to put him.
Torquato Testa differentiating himself by the tricks he chooses, but where will he land in the rankings right now? An 86.5 for Torquato Testa, good enough for 5th place right now. Now, remember, he's the 12th rider to drop, so landing 5th place means that this is pretty indicative of where he'll be going into halftime here as we have 2 more riders to go.
We only have 2.5 points separating 6th place from 3rd place. These riders riding on such an insane level, and right now we have Thomas Lemoyne, the hardest working rider at Crankworx. I will say that confidently, doing pump track, speed and style, and slope style.
Sounds like a pretty busy season. Let's take a look back at what this season has been like for the very versatile Thomas Lemoyne. Thomas Lemoine, if competing in all these different disciplines isn't enough, he's also a rapper, making music videos, accompanied by his bike riding. But he competes in the RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge, Rotorua, first event of the season. He took top honors, and then in speed and style in Rotorua, may have been able to make it another win, but he blew out a tire, had to hand it over, and then landing on the podium in slopestyle. So look at that, 3 different events. We're always talking about him at any Crankworx stop. How about Innsbruck? Of course, he was riding pump track again, trying to get those valuable points for the King of Crankworx overall series. 5th place in speed and style.
Look at him right there, riding with his bars backwards. Such a competitor, always does whatever it takes to win.
So we're talking about 3 different events, but we're talking about all top 5s throughout the first 2 stops. So 5th place in slopestyle, the last event we had here on this Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Tour. And he's got new tricks he's been working on at his makeshift training compounds at home. I don't know where he finds the time to rap. Go check him out on Instagram. He's always entertaining out there. Just look at his pants. Right now, Thomas Lemoine dropping in for his run.
So much style out of Thomas Lemoine. You'll see it out of these first features right here. Double truck driver, just catching those bars so smooth. Backflip tail up on the up box, which is a harder option compared to the cannon log right there. Thomas Lemoine's been so busy all week, but you can't tell. Wow, 360 tuck no hander to bar spin on that hip feature there.
Silky smooth, a feature that other people might have been struggling with speed. Thomas gets it perfect. 360 tabletop on the flat drop. That's going to boost the style points on this run. And now we get into these steep kicker jumps. Opposite 360 no hander. Wow! Now that looked incredible.
Inward table on that 450 out of the shark fin right there. Double backflip. That's a new move for Thomas Lemoine this season. How did he do that? He can just create speed out of nowhere. Landing low on that double backflip, but still able to clear in and trick into the toilet bowl. Backflip bar spin in. Huge 360 tuck no hander out.
Thomas Lemoine, what a run. I mean, I feel like that's the first time we've ever seen him take a pedal stroke in a slopestyle competition. That whale tail, the 2 tricks that he chose in there, that is really going to have an effect on the judges. The fact that he's always top 5 in all the events so far this season, I'm really wondering where he's going to land in our leaderboard right now.
You could see there how that racing background just allows him to create speed between jumps.
So a very well-balanced run out there. Regular tricks, opposite tricks. Let's digest some of these finer moments. Look at this, on the hip, so that's going to score high. A 360 tuck no-hander would score high on its own, but he adds in the bar spin. It's those subtleties that the judges love. Look at this, arms perfectly extended on that opposite 360 tuck no-hander. So checking that box on the judges' scorecard of technicality. And then for amplitude and difficulty of trick, yeah, you might as well throw in a double backflip. Look how low he landed.
Look how high he is there too. Lemoine is well over 6 feet, making that jump look so small because he's so high in the air. And that right there, regular 360 tuck no hander out of the whale tail.
Appreciate just the falling time there into that finish corral. You are on the way down in the air, knowing if it all goes to plan, you can get an insane score, and we're hoping to see that here.
So Thomas Lemoine, his score in 82.25, good enough for 7th place right now. And after a run like that, it just goes to show the level of competition we have out here right now. Walk me through this leaderboard as it sits, Tyler.
Emil Johansson sitting exactly where he wants to be. He's been through so much, sitting in first place. David Godziak, the new guy on the scene, switching things up, sitting right in front of Nikolai Rogatkin.
So what did Emil do to find his name at the top of that list right there? Well, he started out with a 360 tail. Looks like he can even add more to that in the second run if he needs to, but take a look at this. Using the hip option, going Cork 720 on the triple threat, and then look at these combos.
Everything just looks so easy when he does it. It's almost not even fair. That right there, 360, bar spin, downside tail up. And that was an opposite downside tail up for him. So many technical things about this guy's riding right here.
And we talk about this so much when we watch his runs in slow motion. It's almost as if he lives life in slow motion to be able to pack so much. That is a great example right there. 360 tail up, catches the bike early, goes for that unturned down. The judges love every bit of that. He filled all of the elements they're looking for, and that's why he was rewarded with a 95.75 and he's looking to take that Triple Crown out from under this man right here, Brett Reeder, the last rider to drop here, and our first of 2 runs at Red Bull Joyride. He won the first 2 events of this season. If he wins here, he will be the 2nd rider in history to win the Triple Crown. This is what we've all been waiting for.
Huge moment for Brett Reeder right here. I have goosebumps. This guy is so exciting to watch on a slopestyle course. You know he's always practicing new things.
What?
Front flip on the start drop right there, also making that look so easy. Popping a huge backflip off the cannon there.
Maybe he was looking for a bit more there, but he can definitely make up for it here. Going down the middle into the huge...
Opposite, cork 720.
Spinning the wrong way on a cork 720.
On the biggest jump on the hill.
He's got something big planned right here. Backflip, tail whip. Wow.
Off of a flat drop with no transition, no kicker. That's a regular cork 720. Coming into the shark fin. A tail whip.
Downside tail whip out of the shark fin right there. Looking so relaxed, calm and collected as Brett Reeder usually does.
What?
Choosing a windshield wiper right there.
Just turn around. There you go. You're good.
He's made it work. That's
Nice
a tail whip. You catch the
recovery.
tail whip, and then you do one in the other direction.
It defies physics. That trick makes no sense. Brett, one of the few people to do that. 360 tail whip up, backflip bar spin to tuck no-hander.
You know what? I am so proud of this guy right now for continuing on with this run. That was such a heater of a run. We've never seen a windshield wiper in a slopestyle competition before. And when he messed up on the 2nd feature, just doing a straight flip, in years past, we've seen him wave off the run and just put it all on run number 2. I am so excited to see him go for that run right there, because this is really going to have an impact on our rankings.
There were some really high-risk moves in there. Yes, that might not be exactly what Brett was looking for, but the backflip tail whip on that big flight deck drop, the front flip to start things off.
Front flip off a flat drop is such a heavy, high-consequence move. You want to talk about heavy and high consequence? This is how he has been winning this season, the backflip tail off the flat drop. Matt, you touched on it earlier. A cannon has no radius to assist you in that backflip. The flat drop has even less.
It just defies physics. A flat drop backflip was a revolutionary move not so long ago, and to add a tail whip into it in a slopestyle run filled with other bangers like that cork 720, Brett's a boss.
You said it right there. Now here we go. The regular tail up out of the shark fin, and I'm hoping the next move we're going to see on this replay isn't docked too hard, because he was sloppy on the landing, but this is a huge heavy move for 2019.
Opposite tail whip to regular tail whip, reverting it back in the opposite direction. Now these bikes, they have some weight to them, and to stop it and spin it around the other direction right there, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't come naturally, it's not easy to do.
So if you're going to make a mistake on any feature on this course, this is the one to do it on, because it's not that big of a deal to miss that toilet bowl feature. So the big question we have is, how much will the judges dock him for those slight little hiccups in this pretty banger run here, doing things that we have never seen before? What is the score going to be for Brett Reeder? I can only hope they won't dock him too much. Oh, wow. 71.75. Good enough for 10th place right there. I guess the judges are making a statement that they want perfection. That is very interesting. Now, the 2 things that really hurt him are flipping the 2nd feature and blowing pedals. I would love to hear what Brett thinks about that score right there. And hopefully it'll motivate him to get back up to the top of the course for his 2nd run. All right, it sounds like we have him. Brett, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. I'm really psyched that you kept pushing through that run. I know there's a couple times there that you would have liked to have gone a little bit smoother. Are you going to clean up that same run going up back to the top? Because I feel like that's the only thing the judges had to pick apart from that run.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple slip-ups. To be honest, that was a really last-minute decision run. I didn't know what I was doing like on my last practice run, and I completely changed it up. I thought that I gotta just try my best, and you know, it does fire me up to see the other athletes sending it, and yeah, I really, yeah, I'm going up, and I'm gonna do another one.
You know what, Brett? I love improvisation, and I feel like right now the best plan is no plan. Do whatever feels right, and I can't wait to see what you pull out of your back pocket run number 2. Go get it, go win this thing.
Thanks, Cam.
All right, so I've known this kid for so long, his first season on the tour. He was asking me all these questions about how to construct a slopestyle run. Now he could write a book on it. To think that he dropped in and did that run without even a plan, and he was just making it up as he went. Can't wait to see what he's got for us in run number 2. I can't wait to see what all these riders have in run number 2. The final stop of the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship. Of course, this is Red Bull Joyride. Second run's coming up soon. Don't go away. Well, here we go. Welcome back, slopestyle fans of the world. If you love this sport, you love this event, check out the huge crowd we have on hand here at Whistler Bike Park's Boneyard Slope. Everybody's getting into the action, riding the lifts, but the story of 2019 is on our hands right now. The Triple Crown of slopestyle up for grabs. And you know what? This is the spot we want to be. If Brett Reeder wants to win that Triple Crown, he's going to have to make a big improvement. He's back down there in 10th position with a 71.75, but that run showing moments of brilliance. If he's able to clean it up, maybe add a few things, there's no telling what the story could be. Now this is Red Bull Joyride. Second run's coming up right now. I think one thing's for sure, there's nothing you could do to take my eyes off of this screen right now. Red Bull Joyride 2019, one run left for the 14 best slopestyle competitors on the planet. They've earned their way here through gold level events on the FMB World Tour, through their rankings the last 52 weeks on the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Tour. And our re-racked start list for run number 2 looks like this. We'll be kicking things off with Lucas Hooper. We'll see Brett Reeder sooner than we did in run number 1. He's in the middle of the pack. But of course, the man leading it out, Emil Johansson, will be able to hang out at the top, read the room, see what he would have to do if anybody's able to knock him out of that spot. But it is a tall task. The first rider who has an opportunity to tackle that tall task is Switzerland, Lucas Hooper.
Now Lucas has worked super hard to make his way here. Run 1 did not go how he hoped, but we'll see if he's able to collect himself and get run number 2 down this hill. He needs to get some points to maintain so we can see him on tour next year. This is a big moment for him. He's got lots of jitters. Red Bull Joyride is what these kids dream about. And all the other contests they go to work their way here. So Lucas Hooper with his second chance right here to wow the judges. Truck driver off the flat drop. Nice move right there for Lucas Hooper. Front flip on the cannon. Things are going smooth so far for Lucas Hooper in run number 2. Opting for the hip once again. Double tail whip, clearing it perfect, getting both pedals, maintaining his speed into this flight deck. Big flat drop. Looked like a 360X up on that. Looks like he's pumping all kinds of speed into this jump right here.
Oh yeah, if you think back to run number 1, that's where things fell apart for Lucas.
Everything from here on is an improvement for Lucas Hooper. Trying to get out of that 14th position with a big cash roll right there. Bar spin in. Lucas having a great run going so far, now coming into the Kokanee Whale Tail. Let's see if he can finish off his first Red Bull Joyride run with a 360 downside tail up in and a truck driver out.
Yeah.
Great execution for Lucas Hooper right there. And that is exactly what you want to see out of a Red Bull Joyride rookie.
Now, the youngster out of Switzerland, 19 years of age in his first Joyride appearance, showing that he belongs here. Of course, he earned his way here But that run very well may have just earned him the right to stay on tour for next year. The big question now, what will the judges do with that run? Lucas Hubert is feeling the euphoria of finishing a Joyride run. Now, you think back to run number 1, he threw it away on that Cork 720, and we see him here on this split screen, stomping it with perfection, nose down, front tire touching, very straight there, and then complementing that Cork 720 with a cash roll. Basically, 2 720 tricks on separate axis of rotation, and then he finished it off strong here with this 360 bar spin. We call that the truck driver out of the kokanee whale tail.
So smooth. So Lucas will get rewarded for his execution right there.
So look at this. We got Lucas's dad here watching, cheering on his son. Very emotional experience. I feel like I saw a tear rolling out from behind those glasses, and for good reason. He's proud of his son out here all the way across the world and doing it with all the pressure on his shoulders. Now, what will the judges do with this run? He's currently sitting in last place, 14th, with a score of 33.25. You know it's going to be an improvement, but where will he sit in the rankings? How many points will he get for the 2020 season? Judges understanding how much is on the line here. So they're taking their time.
They're really taking their time with this one. All these points are so important. One position could mean you're on tour or you're off tour. So they want to make sure they get this right here.
And one good thing about having the judges take a long time to score your run is you get a lot of camera time, get your sponsored logos shown. I see a little stir in the judges' booth. The score coming in, an 84.
Nice
good enough
work
to put Lucas Hubert in 7th place. That is huge for the young rider.
Look at his name sitting on top of Thomas Lemoyne, Max Fredriksson, Jakob Wenzel, Brett Reeder, all the names that he's looked up to for so long.
Good point. It doesn't matter how long you've been here or what you have planned. It matters if you put it down with the pressure, and Lucas Hubert did just that. 7th place so far for him. As we focus our attention back to the start tower of this Joyride course, another youngster, this one out of France, Paul Couder.
Now, Paul had a really promising run going in run number 1, having to throw it away on the second to last feature, the toilet bowl. But before that, he had Cork 720s, opposite Cork 720s, double backflips, everything you need to bump your way up that results list. That was an opposite 360 to start things off.
Wow.
Man.
Okay, 2 things to say about that. A, we're excited that crash wasn't worse. That was a rodeo move right there, but B, we are so bummed to see him throw it away. This was a huge opportunity for Paul Couder. He finished 4th place in Innsbruck, so he was looking to just, increase his trajectory curve at the high end of this sport, but that was his final opportunity here at Red Bull Joyride. Paul Couder will finish no better than last place here, unfortunately.
An exciting rider to watch on course, so we hope we'll see him in Rotorua.
Yeah, I mean, walk me through the complexity of spinning that top drop your opposite direction. He had great style on it. He was nose down, but I'm sure it's hard to correct when you're going your opposite way.
Exactly. Everything's happening in an unfamiliar fashion. I'm sure he practices that one at home, but he could do that in his sleep in a regular direction, but he knows that you have to have the opposites in there to get the high scores these days. So Paul was wanting to hang it all out right there. Now we have Lucas Knopf in the gate for run number 2. Now Lucas went down super hard, trying to double tail up to the hip on the triple threat jump. The big dirt to dirt feature.
So Lucas Knopf looking for those points to stay on tour. Last opportunity to get those points. The German rider. Here we go.
Let's see if he can clean this up. Starting off with a big move right there with a 360 bar spin. Front flip on the cannon. And this is where things went wrong in run number 1. Just went a little bit too slow. Right now it looks like he's pumping speed.
Going slow again. Good, he got it.
Perfect. Great to pedals right at the top of the landing. Now everything from here on is an improvement for Lucas Knopf. Truck driver on that big flight deck flat drop. To the SRAM step up with a clean backflip tail whip, grabbing a pedal, not getting a trick out of the shark fin right there. But like I said, this is already an improvement, so he will be moving up the results list.
Oh, Lucas Knopf goes down on the 360 bar spin to tail whip. Well, at least he can go back to the hotel room tonight knowing that he went down swinging.
It's a big move right there for Lucas Knopf. As we heard some of the other riders saying, it's hard to judge speed going into these features because there's so much time in between each feature.
So, Lucas Knopf not going to take that second opportunity to move up the rankings. He will stay down in 13th place right now. But here's a look back at this crash. 360 bar spin to tail up, catching the bike, and then spotting that land and realizing he's just a little bit too short. Now, there's not a lot of room for air. The knuckles on these landings are very small and peaky, and then the ideal landing area is not very many bike lengths, so it's hard to judge speed for these features, especially considering how high these tall and steep ramps shoot the rider into the air.
One little extra tap of the rear brake going into that jump, and that is going to be it for Lucas Knopf. So hard to get the speed right for these features.
So we're working our way through the reversed start order in run number 2 here. The man at the top, the man to beat, we just saw him on screen, Sweden's Emil Johansson. Now, an opportunity to cheer on his countryman, Alex Alonco. Now, it's a long history of Swedish success on the Crankworx World Tour. Alex Alonco looking to be the next rider in a long list of successful Swedes. He started this season with a 3rd place in Rotorua, New Zealand. He has tasted the podium. Now you know he's not happy with sitting in 12th place.
No, this has been one of his best seasons to date. I love the way he starts off his run right here. Opposite 360 1-footed can. Very technical move for him. He had a great run going in run number 1 and just missed the last feature right there with a 360 triple bar spin on the cannon log, pumping a lot of speed into this feature right here. Backflip, triple bar spin. So right now he's stepping things up. He got 3 bar spins in that backflip, whereas run 1 only had 2. Regular 360 1-footed can, so that's great variation, getting the opposites in there. Big cork 720 coming up a little bit short. Can he make it out of this shark fin? He can. All right, so he's going to continue into this Red Bull step up right here with a backflip bar spin to 1-footed can, switching his trick up there from run number 1. Getting an X up into the toilet bowl. So will he get the honor of riding through the Red Bull Arch at the end of this Joyride course in run number 2? Backflip 1-footed can coming up a little short.
Yeah!
360 bar spin, able to manage his speed out of that, ride through that arch.
Alex Alonco with trouble in run number 1. The main goal on hand, not finish in 12th place at his first Red Bull Joyride. He just put together a great run. You gotta know he's gonna improve upon that 55.75 and move up the rankings, get those points. Alex Alonco currently sitting in 12th place. That's exactly where he finished in Innsbruck. I feel like he's done his job here, packing in so many bar spin variations on these features. That backflip triple bar spin. There was a couple instances where he did one more bar spin than we were expecting. The judges loved that, and you mentioned that he complemented the 360 topside no-foot can with that opposite 360 topside 1-foot can, I should say. And I was almost thinking he was going to throw it away there. A little bit short on that cork 7.
I was holding my breath. But the extension that he got out of those 1-foot cans, something the judges also looked very deeply into. Now, he did have a couple mistakes in there, but can't overlook how great that run was.
What is it about Sweden? They keep producing such ridiculous slopestyle mountain bike talent. They're training indoors most of the time. Their winters are long.
I think it's what they have to do to keep warm.
Yeah, you got to keep moving.
Barsman. Judges taking their time with this one.
So Alex Alonco wanting to finish higher than 12th place right here. Okay, 72.75, sitting in 11th place right now. And the leaderboard looks like this. Emil Johansson, untouchable so far at the top of that list. We are looking at your current leader, Emil, and we're going to take a look at the run that put him there. Now that's an opportunity where he can add even more off the start feature. But the judges seem to be loving it when the riders are choosing the hip option there. They love to see these 4-part combos. If you count it out, a 360, 2 bar spins, and a tail whip. 4 things going on at once right there. That's why these jumps in 2019 are so tall and steep, giving these riders ample airtime to pack in so many variations. And that's really what's doing it right there. That final feature really putting a bow on that run with complementary tricks and packing in unexpected variations. The ambidexterity of that kid right there and the precision he's able to execute these opposite tricks with is reminiscent of this guy we got right here.
Oh man,
wow.
We are not used to seeing Brett Reeder drop this early in the lineup, and this could really shake things up right now.
The guy who won the first event of the season in New Zealand, he won the second event of the season in Austria. This is the second time in his career he's been eligible for that Triple Crown. You know he's trying to think about his run and not about that $50,000 on the line if he were to win. But here we go. Brett Reeder, second run, Joyride 2019.
Will he try to clean that run that he did in run number 1 or stick with this? Okay, so that was a front flip off the flat drop there. Back flip, double bar spin off the cannon. All right, so now he's got everything going on that he needs.
It is on.
Opposite Cork 720 on the dirt to dirt right there, spinning his unnatural direction.
Here we go.
Going perfect.
The
huge
muscle move.
Back flip, tail whip, landing that so smooth. Cork 720, everything is looking perfect right now. And when Brett gets into this mindset, he is hard to stop. And now he's coming into this unique trick right here.
Yeah, smooth on the windshield wiper.
I believe he may have switched that to a double tail whip. Hard to tell from the angle.
There's a chairlift in the way.
He's coming in to the Kokanee whale tail. What will it be? 360 tail whip in, backflip opposite tail whip out of the whale tail. So smooth, so calm and collected. Everything was perfect. Switching a couple tricks in right there, and look at Emil. He's worried. Will he get a victory run, or will he have to battle Brett Reeder's run number 2 right there?
This has to be an insane abundance of emotion for Brett Reeder right now. We talked to him before the event. He wasn't liking the course. He wasn't feeling like he had a run that could shake things up, but never count this guy out. I feel like the fact that he was kind of confused on what to do, it took the pressure off of him, and he just went, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna bob and weave and see what I can piece together. And that's what you piece together if you're the best slopestyle rider in the world right now. Undefeated so far in the 2019 season. Let's look back at this run, Tyler.
So this right here, he only did a straight flip on that in his first run, and I think that just threw his whole vibe off. Knowing that it wasn't the run he wanted to do, but as soon as we saw him land that, we knew everything was on fire, everything was working perfectly, and to think he had to do this twice right here. Can't explain how dangerous that is. So many things that could go wrong. Jeez. Making it look so easy. That one's a scary one to even practice. It's not one you want to do unless you have to. And to win this competition, he had to.
Now, the thing about the athleticism of this guy and the experience that he has is even if he's not feeling the course and he's a little confused, there were some tricks he's been training hard for that he didn't feel would be appropriate on this course. Even while improvising and changing his plan against what he wanted to do, he still drops a run like that. And you're right, Ty, the chairlift was in the way during his run, but that was a double tail whip. So smart decisions there.
Using his experience to know that he was a little sloppy on the windshield wiper, so going with something he knew he was going to land. And that right there, backflip opposite tail whip. Not something you see every day out of a whale tail.
All right, well, Matt Jones is hanging out in the finish corral. Let's talk to Brett.
Brett, honestly, dude, against all odds, with a couple of mistakes in that first run, you just blew my mind with the most impressive run. How do you feel, buddy?
I blew my mind too. I wasn't even expecting to do a run like on that caliber at all, and then all the boys were sending it, and I was just like, man, I'm here. Like, this is my chance. You know, like, regardless of all the shitty practice and everything that's happened this week, like, I gotta try it. So.
Yeah, you said going into well, as you landed your first run and got down, you said they weren't the tricks you even had planned all week. I mean, you've been improvising, you've been coming up with different runs last minute. Was that the run you had planned, or is that actually above and beyond what you thought you'd even have to do?
No, like, this was maybe going to be the first run that was maybe average for me. And then I, like, last second, like right before I dropped in, I was like, I'm gonna do the flip up, I'm gonna do this, that, and...
Amazing, buddy. I'm so stoked for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Okay, great storytelling down there. This is really shaping up to be unscriptable. Emil Johansson at the top of the leaderboard right now, 95.75. Brett Reeder comes in, improvises a banger of a run. What will the judges do with it? The score to beat, 95.75. The judges taking their time. Emil just waiting to see if he's going to have to better the run he just saw from Brett Reeder. I can hear the drum roll. Here comes the score. Brett Reeder with a 94.5, good enough for second place. A smirk from Brett and a sigh of relief from Emil Johansson. Oh, so close. I mean, these guys were a half of a point.
Emil dodging a huge bullet right there.
This is, I mean, this is the new chapter of slopestyle right here. A half a point between them and Innsbruck, and right now, same two names at the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, that's, you said it, Ty, that's dodging a bullet.
Brett Reeder so close to being able to potentially take that Triple Crown, but he'll have to try again next year for that. But not a bad day for Brett Reeder, still sitting in second place.
So, this is a cool thing we like to see from Jakob Wenzel. For second run, he usually picks another band shirt. Yeah, the energy seemed to work for run number one.
He's looking fired up right now, too. He's in 11th place.
Oh, man, he is fired up, isn't he? He's bouncing.
We heard he had a sprained ankle. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to ride, but he got a perfectly clean run in run number one. And now it's his chance to step up the caliber of tricks and try to get some more points, break into that top 10, potentially top 3. Jakob's capable of big things, starting off with the 360X up right there. Backflip tuck no-hander on the cannon. Now coming into the triple threat, opting for the hip again, switching his feet, going for the double tail whip. I love the way he switches his stance doing double tail whips. Now coming into the flight deck drop, 360 tuck no-hander, another move that we saw from him in run number one. Very unique combo right there. Cash roll X up, so getting a combo in, able to hold on. Will he clear the shark fin?
Oh, man.
Dang. Stepping up the risk on that jump right there. Just getting a little bit offline.
Well, he was doing what he needed to do. He had a smooth run, first attempt, and then adding the variation. Nikolai can appreciate that cash roll X up. He can also appreciate the fact that he landed low and sideways and kept pushing. But unfortunately, the speed lost with that unsmooth landing on the cash roll X up caused him to case out of that shark fin. And the Black Sabbath shirt seemed to be more powerful juju in run number one. I say he sticks with the Black Sabbath shirt all season next year.
I feel like he had more planned too. I've never seen that look in his eye on the start gate. Everything was going smooth. I feel like he was going to show some new stuff on the final features. But Jakob Wenzel sitting relatively well in the overall standings. We hope to see him back on form in Rotorua come March, but that will be it for Jakob Wenzel's Red Bull Joyride 2019.
So with a cash roll being a 720 rotation, he was trying to add that variation in there. Let's look back at how far we've come with that trick, the 720, and how many different variations we've seen during the timeline of this sport. The first 720 landed in a competition way back when in 2006. Then Atsi Etzold in 2007 brought it. That's a name that we haven't heard in a long time, but Brennan Semenuk bringing Quark 720 bar spins in 2015, and then Brett Reeder upping that with doing that trick, opposite rotation. I like seeing that picture of Jamie Goldman right there.
Oh yeah.
Doing the no-foot can. This sport has progressed so far since its inception in 2003. Never would have thought we've seen ourselves talking about front cork 1080s, but we've got our next rider in the gate right now. Max Fredriksson, another Swedish rider. We've seen him on injured reserve for so long. He needs a huge result here to stay on tour. The way the FMB point structure works is if you're hurt and you miss events, they freeze your points. So here's his opportunity to stay on tour.
Double truck driver on the start step down right there.
Oh no! Starting out strong for Max Fredriksson, but a dead sailor on the second feature. This is not what he needs to stay on tour right here.
Looks like it might be a throwaway. I think we saw him do a triple truck driver on that start feature. Only getting the double this time. But still, even a double truck driver is such a good move, and we would love to see Max finish out his runs with all the tricks we know he can do.
So we've seen Max do this in the past, is miss a trick early on and then just wave the run off. You know, that's something we've seen Brett Reeder do a lot in the past. It's kind of a learning thing. You know, of course, you want your dream run, but in this game, sometimes you got to improvise. Brett Reeder kind of finally learning that, and it's been serving him well. He's sitting in second place right now. You got to think if Max Fredriksson continued to try and do whatever tricks he could muster up, he'd be able to move up the rankings. He's sitting in 10th place, and because of this right now, he won't be moving up any further. We're hoping that those 10th place points will be enough, so we'll see him to start the 2020 season in New Zealand, but it's not going to be a guarantee for him. All right. Here we go, Thomas Lemoine in the start gate. Now, a lot of great camaraderie out there between our competitors. Let's take a look at what Emil Johansson, your current leader, had to say about Thomas Lemoine.
Thomas Lemoine. Oh, wow. Yeah, he's a fun guy. Really, he's a loud dude. Like, you will know when he's in the room. He's a funny guy that I enjoy hanging out with, and he's got a lot of energy, as you could see on all his past results when it comes to pump track and speed and style and Crankworx, slope style and all that. He's so talented. He got such good bike control, and he's strong enough to pull off really good runs when in all different disciplines. So yeah, he's amazing.
Well, there you go. If that isn't enough to get you excited about our next competitor, in an endorsement from the current leader right now. And it's true, this guy has the most energy out of anybody out there, and to dump that energy, he competes in so many different disciplines at all these Crankworx stops, but this is the one he cares the most about. This is his final run here for Thomas Lemoine.
Starting things off with a double truck driver off that start step down. Coming to the SRAM up box with a backflip tail whip. Big move right there for Thomas Lemoine. So far, things are looking just how they were in run number one, railing that berm, hitting the hip. 360 tuck no-hander to bar spin, so smooth, so much style. Anytime this guy gets on a bike, it's a pleasure to watch. 360 table on the flight deck flat drop right there. Now coming into the SRAM step up with an opposite 360 tuck no-hander. Oh, just a slight over rotation, landing a little heavy on the back wheel, losing his feet and not able to carry speed into that shark fin right there.
Lemoine going tech with that opposite 360 tuck no-hander. You know, he's sitting in 9th place right now, so he was looking to improve on that, but he's also 2nd place in the world rankings overall right now based on his results from the first 2 events. He had a 2nd place in Rotorua and a 5th place in Innsbruck, so you're guaranteed to be seeing him in 2020. Despite this run right here where he will not improve on this current 9th place ranking. But he's gonna do something for the crowd right here on the Kokanee Whale Tail.
Look at how many people are down there in the finish corral. And that'll be it for Thomas Lemoine's busy 2019 Crankworx World Tour, competing in so many different events.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to say, Ty? This is what's ridiculous, is we kind of reminisced about, you know, the days of old with that throwback timeline there. And there was a time when 360 in the final feature was such a big deal, and that was the capper to a huge run. Now you see Thomas Lemoine just dumping out a stylish 360, even when the run is a throwaway. Just goes to show the level these guys are on.
So this right here, look at the size. Thomas Lemoine, well over 6 feet tall, and look how much he just keeps falling right there. Great style out of that 360 table.
I mean, if you're hanging out on your roof, maybe to watch some fireworks, maybe you're a roofer. Everybody's been on a roof at some point in their life. They know that when you're standing on the edge, your brain tells you, don't fall off of this. These guys are rolling up to that same height on their bicycle and willingly, not just riding off it, they're spinning and flipping and doing all kinds of acrobatics off of that thing. Put yourself in their shoes. It really helps you appreciate the athleticism of these top 14 slopestyle athletes in the world here at the event we call the Super Bowl of slopestyle mountain biking, Bull Joyride. So Diego Cavarzazzi loaded up in the gate, currently sitting in 7th place, reviving his season right now. He has been unable to get a top result, a result that he's worthy of so far this season. Best result so far in 11th place, so already improving upon that. He would like to make that 7 a lower number, and he had a smooth first run. Let's see what decisions he makes here.
He did. Everything he did was landed perfectly smooth. He's got a huge bag of tricks, so we'll see what he chooses in run number 2 right here. He's got a base to work off.
Yeah, did he get his hands off there?
I think I saw a tuck no-hander in that front flip off the cannon. So he's trying to squeak a little bit more out of this run. He had a big move right here in run number 1.
Yes.
Backflip, bar spin, and tail whip. He has that trick so on lock. It's insane. There's so many things going on. Big flat flip right there. Great to see Diego riding so smooth. Red Bull Joyride 2019.
Come on, short. Oh, man, you can tell right when he took off, there wasn't enough speed. And that's what we're talking about. That really illustrated the lack of margin for error on those 2 steep jumps for the middle section of the course. They shoot straight up in the air. The case knuckle is about 1 foot wide. And if you come up short, that will cause your run to come to a screeching halt. So he was landing all those tricks so smooth, like this backflip bar spin to tail whip. Lucky for him, the trick that he has on lock is also a trick that the judges love to score high. It's very much on point. Watch how smooth he lands on this flat drop backflip. Watch the head, no bob, just eyes up into that berm. You see a lot of riders dropping off of a house and they're bobbling. But here's where things came to a screeching halt, the cast roll. Let's see if when we get to the landing. All right, pause right there. You see, this landing right here is only about a foot wide on the top, and he landed right on the very top. That's going to compress the entire body and buck you over the bars. Roll the tape. There's no amount of fitness and strength, no amount of days at the gym that are going to allow you to push through that Casey of a landing. So Diego Cavarzazzi thrown together what could have been a high score here. Unfortunately, we won't know what he would have had planned for the bottom of the course. But let's remind you where we sit right now. The top score to beat, 95.75. Emilio Hansen was the man who dropped that score. Now, this guy.
So much going on in these runs. Regulars, oppos, bar spins, tail whips, everything that these judges are looking for. That right there, 360 inward table to bar spin, 360 bar spin, the downside tail whip, opposite downside tail whip, by the way. Everything the judges are looking for, he has mastered. Backflip, double tail whip, perfect pedals, right at the top of the landing. No bobbles anywhere in this run, and that's why his score is where it is as a 95.75.
Okay, so as a little perspective here, this is a guy who's been called the future of this sport by none other than Brandon Semenuk when he shared a podium with him back in 2017. Emil was 2nd place. Brandon Semenuk won. Brandon Semenuk doesn't compete in this discipline anymore. Emil is the heir apparent. Now he hasn't won a Crankworx slopestyle stop yet. If he was able to win Red Bull Joyride as his first Crankworx stop, now that would be as firm of a statement as you could ever imagine. But next up in the gate, we got a whole slew of riders looking to take that win away from Emilio Hansen. Right now, Torquato Testa with his opportunity.
Now Torquato had some unique moves in run number 1, and the judges rewarded that. So he's getting that 360 off the start drop, and this right here, see if he does it again. Backflip Superman getting better extension than run number 1.
He held that extension.
He did. Not much airtime on that, but it's making it look easy. Big double backflip. I thought he was going to over-rotate that for just a second there.
Whoa!
Whoa, did he get his hands off?
Oh my gosh.
Looked like he was going for the flat backflip tuck no-hander. Cork 720, bar spin. Oh, Torquato was going for it right there. Sitting in 6th place, not very far off of that 3rd place, trying everything he could to get on this Red Bull Joyride podium.
We have seen consistent and conservative Torquato Testa in order to get back on tour. But it's been a while since we've seen Torquato Testa really throw caution to the wind. We are going to have to go back and analyze this run because this is the Torquato Testa we've been waiting to see for some time now. First of all, I want to look back at this wooden drop in the middle of the course. Does he get, oh, look at that,
yeah,
2 hands off. You gotta be kidding me.
He had good extension on that as well.
That is huge. Now, we see not too many flat drop backflip variations. That would be a new one for the sport here. And then taking a page out of Brett Reeder and Brandon Semenuk's book with this Quark 720 bar spin. Unfortunately, just like Diego, coming up short on a 7. No, he went long, sorry. Rear wheel, not able to slow down the rotation.
So close. Torquato's always been one in the past to try some crazy stuff. This season we've been seeing him play it super smart, but with getting that first run score in the top 10, he knew he had some room to play with. So it's great to see Torquato stepping out of his comfort zone and trying some new stuff in run number 2.
So Torquato with a 4th and a 6th on the season, currently sitting in another 6th spot right now. Can he hold on for those points so we can see him throw caution to the wind again in 2020? But one rider who's been so excited the last 2 seasons is this young German right here, Eric Fedko, with a podium last year right here at Joyride. He is currently sitting in 5th place right now, needing to move up a couple spots if he wants to repeat what he did last year.
Guaranteed a top 5 position at Red Bull Joyride. We'll see if he's gonna take that result or step it up, but knowing this kid, I think he's going to try to step it up. Changing his trick right there with a huge move. 360 bar spin and tail whip. Changing his move there with a 360 tail whip. Wow, completely changing his run up so far from run number 1. Really do.
Oh, missing the C-grab flip.
Oh man, that was an exciting start to a run, but missing that Superman C-grab flip right there will hurt his score, but it looks like he's gonna finish this run out. Truck driver.
Yes!
Big 360 C-grab Indian air. He's just having fun now, but this run is still so on point.
I mean, he's pretty much doing a wave-off run, but he's still doing all his biggest tricks, just feeding off the crowd.
Man, that was an exciting start to a run. He was gunning for that top position, that's for sure.
What do we got over here? Yeah. Oh.
That looks so fun the way he does that.
That was kind of one of my favorite looking things of the day right here. And he's doing it just for the crowd. So Eric Fedko with a 5th place ranking to lean on. That's where he will live in a very respectable position out there, and a hint at what he'll be bringing to the 2020 season, which he'll undoubtedly be invited on. This kid, so consistent. Expect to see him back on the podium soon.
The future of slopestyle is looking bright. Did you see the combo that he was trying to link up right here?
Yeah.
Truck driver to tail whip. But did you see what he was wanting to get out of that up box?
He could get 3 whip to bar, it looked like.
3 whip, and then he was trying to squeak a bar spin in there. That would have been 6 tricks out of 2 start features right there.
He was staring at the seat, wanted to put the hand on there. For that trick, you have to be committed right off the lip. So he missed that window, and it's not going to happen. But he still threw down a whopper of a run, trucking that flat drop, the height of a 2-story building.
That was sure to be an insane run, but not a bad day for Eric Fedko. Guaranteed that 5th place position, getting the points. He is well on his way to a great 2020 season.
Well, Eric Fedko is not only one of the best in the world, he's also a fan of this sport, so I know he feels just like we do. Very lucky to be able to watch Nikolai Rogatkin and David Godziak with their final chance of knocking Emil Johansson out of that gold medal territory. 2 riders that absolutely have what it takes to pull that off. 2 more runs to go in Red Bull Joyride 2019. You are not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Been a blast globetrotting the last few years on the Crankworx World Tour, but it's also great to hear that it's building mountain biking across the world. We're excited to do it all over again in 2020. But right now, throughout the entire season, these are the situations that we imagine situations like this where Emil Johansson is sitting in the leader's spot with a 95.75, and guys like Nikolai Rogakin are throwing out all the stops trying to knock him off. In run number 1, Nikolai Rogakin was absolutely going for broke, and he was not going to stop until he absolutely fell over. I mean, this guy, there was no stopping him.
This run was showing huge promise of taking that top spot. Everything started off great, then he had a couple slip-ups mid-course, but that right there, 360 inward bar spin, cash roll right here. Everything was going pretty smooth, and then right here, things started going a little array, coming up short on that double tail whip, but somehow muscling it out. Most people would just pull off track right there. He squeaked in a triple tail whip after that, and then ended with a cork 720.
If Nikolai Rogakin is still rolling, he's still trying to win. Even after a crash in Innsbruck, he popped up and still cash rolled off the cannon log. So what will the story be right now? Can Nikolai Rogakin knock Emil Johansson out of the hot seat and win back-to-back Red Bull Joyrides?
Oh man, this is exciting. Nikolai Rogakin feeds off this crowd, always a threat for the top position. Starting things off like run number 1 with that cash roll. 360, double tail whip. Such a huge move right there. Right now, he's on pace to be on that top spot. What will it be on the dirt feature? 1080 twister.
Yes!
Oh my gosh, I thought he was going to come up a little bit short right there. Landing perfectly smooth. Right now, he's doing everything the judges are looking for. 360 bar spin on the flat drop. Coming in so fast into this feature right here. Cash roll.
Oh, no! Oh, man!
Wow.
Come on!
Oh my gosh, that run was insane. Everything was going perfectly to plan.
He looked so calm, cool, and collected. I felt like there was no way he was going to make a mistake in that run.
Well, if I know Nikolai Rogakin, I know he's going to do something to finish his way down this course. He doesn't want to end it like that.
You believe it. So, with one more bullet to dodge, Emil Johansson, a tentative smile.
Emil one step closer to getting his first Crankworx victory.
Well, this is crazy. Well, first of all, let's watch and see how Nikolai Rogakin entertains the fans out here. Come on, jeez.
Just for fun.
Huge
720.
hammer.
Nikolai Rogakin will have to settle for 4th place. 2019 Red Bull Joyride, but man, was that exciting.
You know what he has done, though, is he turned this season around. Without results in the first 2 events, a 4th place is exactly what Nikolai needed, and let's send it down to Sherlock Jones.
Nikolai, dude, I'm so gutted for you, man, but you still put on a great show. I know this year hasn't been one that you'll look back on fondly, but last year, you're still the only crown of the Triple Crown. How do you feel to be here in Whistler and put on such a good show?
Man, so stoked to be here. It's the best vibes every year. I felt really good in that run. Bummed to crash, but I'm still sitting in 4th place, so 4th place in Joyride is not a bad day. It's mountain biker's dream to be out here riding this, so thanks, Whis, for being so epic, and I'll be back.
Yeah, we're excited to see you back, man. Congratulations, you're a legend.
Wow, Nikolai Rogakin with a smile on his face. Always puts a positive spin on it, and it's true. 4th place at Joyride, still a good feeling. But one crazy situation we found ourselves in right now that we haven't seen since 2012. We haven't had a European winner. We haven't had a winner anywhere other than North America for a Crankworx slopestyle stop since Thomas Janon won Joyride in 2012. And right now, it will either be Emil Johansson, who's currently in the hot seat, or David Godziak will blow minds and sweep the rug out from under the young Swede. We will shortly know what the history books will read.
David Godziak's rookie season on the Crankworx World Tour, and right now he's the only person with the chance of taking this win away from Emil Johansson. Going for a straight backflip right there, so will he?
What?
Looks like he'll be taking run number 1. Satisfied with that 3rd place position.
Wow, well, I was not expecting to see that happen. I suppose it is 100% official here. Emil Johansson's first Crankworx slopestyle win comes at Joyride 2019. I'm sure it's a first of many wins for this young Swedish rider who's been called the future of this sport. But David Godziak deciding that run number 1 was exactly the run he wanted and not trying to better that in run number 2.
Surprising to see, but sometimes you look at the people that are ahead of you and you look into your own trick bag and you're happy with where you're at. David Godziak getting 3rd place in Red Bull Joyride.
His first 2 Crankworx slopestyle appearances and 2 3rd places. But right now the story is all about this guy. We've never seen a victory lap during a Crankworx slopestyle event from this guy because surprisingly he hasn't won one yet. He was the 2017 world champion, out all of 2018 with illness. His parents in Canada for the first time to cheer on their son, and apparently that was the kicker. That was the catalyst needed for this young kid at the top of his sport to finally win an event. He beat guys like Brett Reeder, David Godziak, Nikolai Rogakin, Eric Fedko, and now he gets to celebrate.
From the first time we saw Emil drop into a slopestyle course, we knew this moment was going to come. Look at him, just playing around, 360 tail whip on the start step down.
Oh my gosh.
And he is putting a show on, having fun with his victory lap. Red Bull Joyride champion 2019. And man, this kid has been through so much. I can't imagine what is going through his head right now.
Come on, fast plant off the drop. It's really fun to see what these riders will do when they're absorbing such a career accomplishment in front of such a huge crowd. And this guy with so much style, just riding for fun right now. He's telling us what tricks he really likes to do here.
Exactly. And you know he's thought about this moment for a long, long time right now.
Yes, pumping the fist to the crowd. It is official. Emil Johansson has won Red Bull Joyride 2019.
Man, that's gotta feel good. All his competitors so stoked to see him back on the scene. So much respect between all these guys right here. Everyone knows how much he's been through and what he's been capable of since he won the overall in 2017.
You know what? It was so emotional to see him get 4th place last year. Multiply that by 1,000, seeing him win this event. Autoimmune diseases, injuries, he's done it. Now let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Let's send it down to Matt Jones with your winner, Emil Johansson.
Emil, oh my word, this has been an emotional year for you, an emotional career for you, and you've just done it. You've added 1st place at Red Bull Joyride to your trophy cabinet. I can see there's probably some tears there, and soon there's going to be some champagne. So what's it taken for you? Has it been this brand new Joyride course? Is it your hard work all year? What do you think you can put this win down to?
Oh my God, I can't even hear what he's saying. I'm just busting in here. I don't know.
Are you stoked?
Fuck yeah, yeah, of course.
Well, you heard it from him, not me. You're a legend. Well done, dude. I'm excited to see where this is all going to go for you in the future. You've put in so much work. It's been tough for you, right?
Yeah, it's been really rough. I mean, last season here, it was 10 months off my bike before coming here, and then I managed to pull a run off, but the battle wasn't really done there. I've still suffered from some problems from time to time, but I'm way more stable now than I've been in the past, and I feel stronger than I ever been, so yeah, I'm super stoked.
You've had it rough, and it's all come full circle. You've put in the work, buddy, and you've won. Congratulations, dude. Yes, Emil.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Matt Jones. What a great story. I mean, for 2 years in a row, we've finished off the Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series with something that you could not script. Never a dull moment out here at Red Bull Joyride. And for the 17th year in a row, these riders have performed on command and given us the show of the year. It's like Old Faithful out here on the Boneyard, isn't it, Tyler?
Oh yeah, and I think we're gonna see Emil's name up there quite a few more times in the future.
So a look at your final result list here. Cast of characters out there, and David Godziak, Brett Reeder, and Emil Johansson standing on the podium soon. Plenty of autographs to sign here. Yeah, everybody, welcome to the Red Bull Joyride post-show, where we get some special guests up in the booth and we digest what never disappoints. It's always the best show on two wheels, Red Bull Joyride. Right now I'm joined by, of course, Tyler McCall, Darren Bearcloth, and Matt Jones, but our special guest right now is your fourth place finisher out there today, the showman, Nikolai Rogakin. Welcome, Nikolai.
What's up, guys? How you doing? How'd you like that comp?
Dude, thank you. I just have to say that. Thank you for the show.
It was insane out there. I mean, everyone was just throwing such good runs, and yeah, epic. I mean, you guys know how it is out here. It's the best day of the year for slope riders.
Yeah, we started out the show, and I wanted to put these guys on the spot a little bit, get some guaranteed predictions out there. And Darren, tell me what your guaranteed prediction was.
My guaranteed prediction was you doing a bit of a showman dance at the end of the course, and unfortunately, we didn't get to see that happen. We were all rooting for you.
I know that first run just felt a bit too sketchy in some bits to do a full-on celly, so I was kind of more of a relief to get to the bottom of the helmet grab. I mean, I was hungry for the celly, but the run just didn't feel worthy, you know?
And you had it second go round, but you just couldn't keep on to it.
I know, yeah, just trying to put the variation in the cash roll to try to get me up on the podium, but it's the way she goes. Just undercooked a bit. Thank you.
A for effort.
Thank you.
Well, I think you didn't get a chance to celebrate down there, but you still get to celebrate the fact you're the only slopestyle athlete to ever take the Triple Crown. How does it feel looking back on last year, knowing you still had that result and you still own it?
Man, it feels mind-blowing. Last year was, things just went better than I could have ever imagined, and I was rooting for Brett today. He was hungry for it, and that run that he did, the second run, under so much pressure after the first run went wrong, was just so impressive to see. He just missed a few bits in there, which couldn't put him above Emil. Emil's run is just so on point. We've never seen a run like that, ever. So, yeah, hats off to Brett for making it happen under pressure, and I'm sure we'll be battling it out for the Triple Crown in years to come.
Now, Nikolai, we'd be missing an opportunity if we didn't take this chance to have you walk us through your run. So we're going to play that footage, and I want to hear what's going through your mind while you're doing all these tricks.
All right. So dropping in with this cash roll, I have to go super slow into it. Landed decent, and then this 360 double tail up got really sketchy. Oh, we're just moving on to the twister. This twister felt good. Epic jump, you know, it's the highlight money booter. All the fans are going crazy there. It feels so insane to land that and just hear the roar of the crowd. Truck for me, never done that before. First ever truck for me. And then this is where the variation was supposed to go, but didn't quite have the speed for that cash roll. And yeah, just a little dirt spray there, didn't give me that much speed. And then here's where I thought it was all over. Caught the double whip, knew I was casing. And yeah, holding on for dear life. The last thing I wanted to do was go over the bars because that was gonna be quite rowdy. And then realizing I'm still alive, getting around the toilet bowl, and then here the cork 720, luckily stomping that one, and then the head up, just screaming, so hype, in disbelief. Couldn't do a celly, felt too sketchy, but oh, there's a little one.
Yeah, there it was.
Yeah, get it. All right, so
Darren was right.
obviously, top honors is what you're shooting for right there, but you seem to be a rider who's able to enjoy the process. How does this crowd differ from other crowds you compete in front of throughout the year?
Man, this crowd is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there's so many people lined up on the hill, downhill. You just see them coming down the run, and these people love mountain biking. I mean, they're here, they're probably riders themselves, or they're just ready for party. I mean, we're on a Saturday evening final, full party mode for Whistler, so the vibe is absolutely unbeatable. It's just crazy. You're coming down the course and you're trying to kind of be in your own zone, but you just can't help but appreciate how crazy it is that we're able to put on a show in front of a crowd like this. It's amazing.
What you really did is you turned your season around. The first two events didn't go as to plan, but you know, you got a good result here. You got fourth. You got points, that's always nice, but you put a big smile on everybody's face out there. And 4th place at Joyride, you are a part of the show. Everybody's going to be talking about you tonight. So for that, kudos. But apparently, I'm getting in my ear right now. We've got a comment we want to read from Pink Bike. Let's see, what's that comment? So to think that Nikolai Rogakin, that David Godzik has all those massive tricks in his bag, but he didn't try his second run. Now, I feel like this is something we would never expect to see out of you. Why do you think David waved off that run?
Man, for David, I talked to him a bit before his second run. I asked him, are you going to send? And he said, no, I'm chilling. For David, it's just so incredible. His first season, he podiumed in Innsbruck. He podiumed here. I have a feeling, though, if I hadn't crashed in that run and I went above him,
oh yeah,
he would have been hungry for that podium spot. So,
you know it.
I mean, being on the podium, he was just so relieved. He just wanted to enjoy coming down this course, appreciate his podium finish, rather than maybe sending it and having a big crash, because to be fair, it's gnarly out here, and the run that David's doing is no joke. Double flips, twisters, you know. So yeah, respect David for appreciating the moment, but he would have been sending. He's hungry for the podium.
It's a real deal. So he's podium perfect in his first 2 Crankworx appearances, but let's see what that run 1 was, so we can appreciate what was going through his mind when he was thinking up there at the top, what am I going to do to better this?
Your guys' runs had some similar things to them too. So when you came down and started doing similar things, but squeaking in a little extra combos, we wanted to see what David had in his bag as well. That right there, the cash roll bar spin, big move for David.
So this right here, it's almost like a flare transfer out of the shark fin. I'm sure the judges were rewarding some variety points for that. Your double tail up definitely was probably the banger we saw all night on that. But you know what? He almost threw it away on that flip tuck no-hander. And those are things that go through your mind when you're considering trying to better your first run in your second opportunity. You're going, man, I barely held on for dear life the whole time. You want me to try to go do something better? So great show out there from Nikolai Rogakin today. Now, what was your favorite part of the whole Whistler experience this week?
Oh, that's a really difficult one. I mean, honestly, spraying down Emil and seeing the disbelief in his eyes that he was experiencing that moment that he's been so hungry for, that was insane. It's basically all of us with shaking up Red Bulls, just spraying him, because you know, that's the moment we dream of, being a Joyride champion. So that's an incredible moment. I'm so stoked for him, and I know how that feels too. So yeah.
Good camaraderie out there, and a lot of times in the history of Crankworx Slopestyle, we see these 2-horse races. But today, I swear, it was like a 4-horse race. Insane. This guy right here ended up in 3rd place. We're going to watch him just savor the moment on the podium.
It's a great feeling right there.
You know his brother's watching, so proud of him right here. 2 Crankworxes, 2 podiums.
Shout out to Simon Godzik, brother of David. We'll be seeing him in a few months in the Utah desert for Red Bull Rampage.
What an entry into this sport. What an entry.
Yeah. And you know what? There was a time when Simon was the mountain bike brother and then David was the BMX brother, but that line is quickly blurring considering he's now cemented himself as one of the best in the world. But take a look, Brett Reeder grabbing that silver medal. Now, we had an interview with Brett earlier on. He said he didn't like the course. If you were to show him in a crystal ball the picture of him getting a silver medal, you know he'd be stoked. Of course, he wants that top spot anytime he's competing, but he really salvaged. He dug himself out of a hole of, you know, what could be considered a little bit of negative thought, and that has to be commended.
You could see the moment that Brett got to the bottom, that relief was lifted, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And here we go, here's the winner.
Oh, so stoked for this kid.
This guy, man.
It's been an incredible journey from the injury to this.
Listen to the crowd.
Everybody knows Emil's story. He's been through the ringer, done everything he could to train, get back healthy, get back onto this top step, and he's dreamed of this for so long.
He's got those Thomas Lemoyne inspired pants on, looking steezy.
Catching on. Are you next?
No, I've got the colors up top, yellow.
You got your own style?
Yeah,
no visor?
No peak, yeah. He's looking pretty steez out there. He's got the gold lettering on the jersey to go with the gold medal.
Yeah, he was foreshadowing how this day would end right there with that shiny gold embroidery.
Oh, so sick.
Emil Johansson. Something tells me this isn't the last time you're going to see him stand on the top step of the podium here at Red Bull Joyride. Brandon Semenek has won it how many? 5 times? He called Emil Johansson the future of this sport, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for this young Swedish competitor.
Here goes the champagne.
Well, there it is, your podium for Red Bull Joyride 2019. David Godziak with the bronze medal, Brett Reeder with the silver, and Emil Johansson with the gold.
Slopestyle is one of the gnarliest sports alive, in my opinion. We're putting a lot at risk when it comes to the tricks we try to throw down. You try to make sure you could run a tire that you could trust the whole week and past that week, so you don't really need to change stuff too often. This is a dusty course. You kind of want it to be a bit softer just to make sure that your back tire just don't slid on top of the loose dirt. Joyride is basically the biggest event of the year, so I think this one is the event to do good at. So it's a lot of practice going into this event, trying to make sure you got everything dialed.
Well, all the little decisions he made, everything from tire choice, trick choice, execution, the dealing with all the pressures that come with it, especially not only in front of this gigantic crowd, but having your family on site, that always plays a bit of a role. I know, Nikolai, your dad comes to a lot of the competitions. You always feel like that kind of invigorates you?
No, having your family there for support is insane, you know? It's like, it just increases the emotion, because you kind of forget that they're there, but then when you get a good run and then you just see your family there so stoked for you, you know they were feeling nervous for you, they don't want you to get hurt, they don't want you to have a bummer day, so, you know, it just feels insane to have them there, have that support. It's moments that families remember forever, so it's always good.
For sure. So, Brett Reeder with the silver medal here. It seems like just yesterday we were analyzing side by side the first place and second place runs from Innsbruck, and we've talked about the first place run already. Let's take a look at Brett Reeder's silver run and kind of just digest some of the finer moments.
Pretty insane that we're talking about a silver medal run right here when we watch Brett Reeder's run. We had no idea what he was going to do. He said he wasn't feeling the course very much, but he came out swinging with his front flip right here. He could have chosen so many different tricks right there that you really have no idea what he's going to do.
I like it when he throws us for a loop. We would have expected to see some sort of half cab variation on these flat drops. He didn't do any, and he came out with a surprise, that front flip drop in.
Opposite cork 720 on the biggest feature on the course right there. And this, one of the most dangerous moves you could ever pull on a slopestyle course. Flat backflip tail whip. Had to do that twice today. Coming into this, we weren't sure if we were going to see the windshield wiper again, but he chose to play it a little bit safer, knowing he could land that double tail whip. And right here, we had no idea who was going to take the top spot. Emil's run and Brett's runs were looking pretty on par at this point right here. Backflip, opposite tail whip to finish off Brett Reeder's second place run.
So he's so casual with that backflip opposite tail whip. You know, there was a time when just doing that on a straight jump was going to score high, and you could tell that it was opposite. Now he's doing it on the step down, and it looks identical to his regular version. Well, speaking of casual nature, we just had this very tall Swedish guy casually stroll into our booth. So I got to do something very important. I got to say thank you so much for everything, your showmanship, your attitude, your smile, and of course your riding. And we can't wait to see you in Rotorua next year.
I'll be back.
Later, Nikolai Rogakin.
Can you guys smell any champagne?
Yes.
I can smell it a mile away.
There's a pungent aroma in the air of
He's
victory
still so
champagne.
far away from us, and we can smell him so vividly. So Nikolai Rogakin doing the little baton pass off to Emil Johansson, your gold medalist out here today with this very unique trophy, you see.
Well done.
Nice work.
Yes, Emil.
Really strong smell in here now.
You smell great.
I smell like shit. Actually, I smell like winning.
All right,
That is
Emil,
winning right there.
Emil, it's hard to imagine because we've been considering you the future of this sport for a couple seasons now. You've been through so much. You came back here for a triumphant 4th place last year. There was times when you said you didn't even know if you were ever going to be able to ride a bike again. Were there times where you thought you'd never stand on the top step of a Crankworx podium? You've been there before, but you haven't won yet. What does that feel like, and how long have you been dreaming about this moment?
It's really hard to put into words how much this means to me. I mean, struggling in the past with both back issues and autoimmune issues have put me on a path that I thought I never was going to be back on track riding bikes. And it's been two pretty fucking rough years, to be honest. It's like the year after the World Tour Championship thing, I was not imagining at all this would happen one day, and now being here 2 years later and making it back to the podium I once got second on, yeah, it means a lot, and it's just nice to see that all the hard work pays off. Like, I mean, I have been on the ground many times, dusting my shoulders off after crashing on big tricks, and yeah, it's definitely not easy putting it off.
Now, we've never seen a victory lap from you because you haven't won a Crankworx slopestyle until today. So let's talk about the victory lap later. Let's talk about the run that allowed you to get the win right here. I feel like this might be your first time really seeing it on camera, so I want to hear you relive this moment.
Do you want to hear from me?
Yeah. You don't want to hear from me. You've already done that.
About this run.
Yeah, let's hear what you're thinking when you're going to do this run.
Yeah, I don't know.
The choice to do the hip instead of the straight. Why did you make that decision?
Most people were hitting it straight, and for me, it felt like I could show like somewhat a different style of going on the hip, and as well, we struggle a lot with headwind in practice and stuff, and I thought cork-7ing it would be a good trick for actually riding it with headwind, so I was like kind of prepared for contest day type of thing, and then yeah, I guess the rest of the run I did a flip double whip. Also a good trick, to be honest, when it's a lot of headwind. Like if I would do a lot of combos in the wind, it's really hard to pull it off. In the end though, like 3-whip on turn on was not easy to pull off in the wind. I never done it off the step down.
And did you know that you had a winning run as soon as you stomped that last trick right there?
To be honest, I dreamed about having a winning run after the first run, of course, but I also missed some things that I would have liked to improve, so I knew that, I don't know if the judges knew that I had something more in the tank, you never know, and it's a really packed field with awesome riders, and riders that got different type of riding styles that I do that I really can't like compare, just like, oh, I did one more bar spin there or one more bar spin there. It's a completely different rotation, so it's, yeah, it's really hard for me to, up top, stand and watch every single rider drop, and then trying to stay calm and also like being prepared. I had my headphones on, trying to be amped for doing a second round. I was ready to try to improve, but just improving that run I thought was gonna be impossible, and then like just doing the run itself and then improving it would be a rough one.
Well, you're such a young guy and you've been able to get to such a high level of riding in such a short period of time, and now you've won the biggest event in the world, so I can't wait to see what happens when we find ourselves in the Southern Hemisphere in March, and you've had all these months to practice more tricks and squeeze in more bar spins in places we never expected. I gotta thank you so much for entertaining us out there, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot, it means a lot.
So, Emil Johansson winning the battle out here, but we gotta talk about the overall Crankworx FMBA Slopestyle World Championship Series. We are giving away those awards right now. Brett Reeder with 2 wins and a second place, giving him enough points to stand on the top step. He is the world champion for 2 years in a row. Emil, you know what that feels like. In 2017, you were standing on the top of that.
Yeah, it's
way to go. So Torquato Testa nailing that 3rd place, and Thomas Lemoyne holding on to those consistent results. Well, that's all for the 2019 season. Stick with us for 2020. Just a few months to go. We're going to kick off a whole nother season where we will rewrite the next chapter of this amazing sport of slopestyle mountain biking in beautiful Rotorua, New Zealand. Well, if you enjoyed what you saw here, join us in March 2nd through the 8th for Rotorua, New Zealand, where we start from scratch and write a whole new story. Gosh, what a show. Tyler, final thoughts on the event today?
I think that's one of the best we've ever seen. We've known this kid's going to be on the top for a long time. Ever since we saw him drop into a slopestyle course, we knew it was coming. So long awaited, but we knew he'd be here, and here he is, top step. I don't think it's going to be the last time we're going to see him here. Kind of foreshadowing of what we're going to see in the future.
Well, thanks to all of our competitors out there for working so hard for our entertainment. Thank you to Emilio Hansen for putting down the run of his life and giving us that entertainment. I got to thank all of you for watching us out there. I've been your host, Cam McCall, alongside Tyler McCall, Matt Jones, Darren Bearcloth, and our entire production crew here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again in Rotorua come March 2020.
Oh, yeah.